This page is the vibrant front cover of Beep MegaDrive magazine from December 1992. The main focus is clearly the highly anticipated release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, with a large, stylized number 2 dominating the center featuring Sonic and Tails. The cover highlights several other key games of the era. You'll find mentions of Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, likely the Hyperstone Heist, Puyo Puyo, Mickey and Donald, World of Illusion, and Junkers High. There's also a special bound-in guide for Landstalker, The King's Treasure, offering tips up to the underground sections. A section is dedicated to the growing Mega CD library, featuring games like 3x3 Eyes, Gyawambura Jikochu Shinha 2, Afterburner 2i, and Robo Aleste. The magazine also previews the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards, discussing the best games of the year across 19 categories. The artwork itself is a unique, multi-layered papercraft style, creating a memorable and playful scene around the gaming content. This page is a vibrant advertisement and campaign announcement for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, building directly on the excitement teased on the previous cover. It features dynamic artwork of Sonic alongside the large number 2, and screenshots showcasing the game's high-speed action, including segments with Tails, his new companion, and glimpses of two-player co-op gameplay. The text details that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a Mega Drive action game released on November 21st for 6,800 yen. It highlights the increased challenge from Dr. Eggman and the introduction of Tails, emphasizing the fun of playing together and the incredible speed that surpasses the original game. The core of the page announces the Super High-Speed Quiz campaign. Participants can enter by answering a quiz question related to the Sonic 2 TV commercial on a postcard, including their details and desired parka size. The quiz hint suggests the answer is a 4-character name in katakana. The campaign offers 2 main prizes: the Mega Drive Sonic 2 Action Pack, which includes a Mega Drive console, and the game, awarded to all who purchase both together and apply with proof of purchase, and an original Sonic 2 parka, given to 500 winners weekly for a total of 6,000 winners via lottery. The application deadline is January 31st, 1993, with the postmark being valid. This page showcases Game Gear versions of 2 popular Sega titles, emphasizing that they are releasing simultaneously with their Mega Drive counterparts, following up on the excitement for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. On the left, the focus is on Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for Game Gear. It features Sonic with Tails, introduced on the previous page, highlighting Tails' debut and his message, "Nice to meet you, I'm Tails." The text details the Game Gear version as an action game releasing on November 21st for 3,800 yen. It promises high-speed, exciting stages, scaled-up gameplay, and a completely original story different from the Mega Drive version, along with commentary from Tails expressing admiration for Sonic. Screenshots show gameplay from early levels. The right side presents Streets of Rage, Bare Knuckle, for Game Gear. Bold artwork depicts Axel and Blaze against a city backdrop. The text proudly proclaims this is a perfect port of the popular Mega Drive fighting game to the Game Gear, releasing on November 27th for 3,500 yen. It's an action game supporting 2-player co-op via link cable and emphasizes defeating enemies using punches, kicks, weapon attacks, and combos. Gameplay screenshots and player stats are shown. The bottom section displays both the Mega Drive console and the Game Gear console, promoting the Game Gear's portability with the slogan, "Anytime, Anywhere," and listing its price along with an optional TV tuner pack. This page features the Mega CD title time gal, showcasing a large, dynamic illustration of the protagonist, Rika, wielding a futuristic weapon. The game is described as a beautiful girl virtual anime adventure where Rika time warps through history. It highlights the game's exquisite visual beauty, emphasizing that it reproduces famous scenes through its anime sequences. The music is also a key feature, with renowned musician Yukihiro Takahashi involved. The small screenshots at the bottom provide glimpses of the full-motion video anime that makes up the game's presentation. The page promotes the game's focus on stunning visuals and impressive music, characteristic of early Mega CD titles leveraging the CD format for multimedia content. This page continues showcasing Wolf Team's Virtual LD game series for the Mega CD, bringing arcade Laserdisc classics home. Time Gal, featured prominently with its striking artwork and description of time-traveling FMV action, is highlighted as Volume 2 in the series and set for a November 13th release. The page also previews 2 more titles: Thunderstorm FX, presented as Volume 1 and already available, promising 3D sound and virtual shooting gameplay as seen in the sci-fi vehicle screenshot. Volume 3 is Road Blaster FX, a virtual driving game roaring with 3D sound from its turbo engine, planned for a December release, depicted by an intense driving animation screenshot. The large text at the bottom emphatically declares these Wolf Team Mega CD releases as approaching masterpieces. This page is all about getting ready for some serious Mega Drive action. The main focus is on Puyo Puyo, shouting out to fans of hot battles and challenging them to compete. It highlights the simple yet addictive puzzle mechanic of connecting 4 or more matching Puyo characters to send troublesome garbages to your opponent. This competitive puzzle game, which started in arcades, is presented as the exciting birth of the Puyo Puyo tribe, set to launch on December 18th for 4,800 yen. Lower down, there's a preview for Ninja Gaiden, described as a fierce side-scrolling ninja action game expanding across side-view screens. The art shows off Ryu Hayabusa and a boss, alongside screenshots of intense platforming and combat. This classic arcade and console series is planned for a spring release at a price of 6,800 yen. The page also features artwork of Sonic the Hedgehog and the sleek Sega Mega Drive console, reminding everyone of the platform these exciting titles are coming to. This page features the Mega CD title Black Hole Assault, a fierce mech combat game. The artwork dominates the page, showcasing various robotic fighters, including the protagonist mech in blue and white facing off against darker, more monstrous designs. The game is highlighted as being available for the Mega CD and supporting 2-player versus battles. The text emphasizes that the game utilizes the large capacity of the Mega CD to deliver smooth animation and powerful sound, creating an immersive battle experience. Published by Micronet, Black Hole Assault is announced as highly acclaimed and already on sale. Small screenshots at the bottom right provide a glimpse of the game's intense 2D mech fighting action. This page announces the Mega Drive release of The Kickboxing, previously a big hit on PC. The eye-catching artwork depicts dynamic kickboxers in action, showcasing the game's focus on combat. The page features small screenshots, giving a glimpse of the in-game visuals, showing the fighters in a boxing ring. The text emphasizes that the Mega Drive version is an evolution of the PAC hit, promising an even more authentic and enjoyable competitive fighting game experience. It is slated for release in January. Published by Micro World and originally from Lorciel, this title brought intense one-on-one fighting to the platform. This page showcases Power Athlete, a dynamic fighting game from Kaneko. Released simultaneously on Super Famicom and Mega Drive on November 20th and 27th respectively, both priced at 8,500 yen, it's promoted as Kaneko's highly rated fighting game of the year. The striking artwork features intense martial artists, reflecting the game's focus on hard-hitting one-on-one combat. The vertical text proclaims the excitement of defeating strong opponents. The game boasts realistic character graphics, dynamic action patterns, and immersive background stages, including lake and Siberian railway settings, utilizing the capabilities of 16-bit hardware. Screenshots highlight the intense 1v1 showdowns on various stages, demonstrating the detailed character models and the impact of special moves. This page features Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 wines, heralded by the slogan, "The Lion Revives 3 Times." Signifying the third entry in this esteemed historical simulation series. It promises a new level of drama and intensity, featuring over 500 officers, engaging hex-based battles, and realistic diplomacy. The text highlights it as the latest and perhaps greatest iteration, bringing together the best of the romance of the Three Kingdoms universe. There's also a promotional campaign, offering a limited edition hero calendar, drawn by popular illustrator Norio Shioyama, to the first 200,000 purchasers of the Super Famicom or Mega Drive versions, starting November 8th while supplies last. This page features Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, announcing its arrival on Super Famicom and Mega Drive platforms on November 8th. Alongside existing PC versions. The game is presented as a significant upgrade, boasting a massive lineup of over 500 unique officers, and introducing deeper strategic elements focusing on individual cities. Battles take place on a detailed hex grid, offering various types like field, naval, barrier, and siege, with an emphasis on strategic troop deployment. One-on-one duels are also enhanced. Diplomacy is highlighted as a key tactical aspect requiring careful negotiation. The page lists the console version price at 14,800 yen, and mentions related items such as guidebooks, a soundtrack CD, and a card game. The visual presentation is striking, featuring a prominent image of a tiger. This page highlights two strategy titles from Koei coming to the Mega Drive and Super Famicom. Featured prominently is Aerobiz, an airline management simulation game where you build a global network. Screenshots depict the detailed business interfaces and strategic map views you'll navigate to expand your empire, all while striving to become an aviation magnate. It's announced as popular and now available on multiple platforms. Below that, Operation Europe, Path to Victory 193,945, the second in Koei's WW2 series following page TO, focuses on the European conflict. You take command in a complex strategy game with varied units and battle types across the European theater. Screenshots show tactical map views and unit formations. The Mega Drive version of this intense historical simulation is scheduled for release on January 16th. Both games offer deep strategic gameplay for aspiring business leaders and military tacticians. This page showcases two upcoming Mega Drive titles from Tengen, known for bringing Atari arcade hits home. Dominating the top half is the action strategy puzzle game Rampart. The artwork features a knight pointing dramatically towards a castle under siege, emphasizing the game's blend of defense and offense. Text highlights its unique mix of intense action, challenging puzzles, and strategic depth, specifically mentioning bombarding enemy ships, repairing castle walls, and expanding territory. It also proudly announces exciting two-player competitive battles. Rampart was released on December 4th on the Mega Drive. Below, RB4 Baseball takes the stage, promoted as an MLB licensed title. This promises an authentic baseball experience with real team and player names, and 28 different stadiums. The text emphasizes the game is packed with data and features, making it perfect for head-to-head two-player matches, describing the anticipation of play. Screenshots showcase various baseball action views. RB4 Baseball was scheduled to start its season on the Mega Drive on December 18th. This page is an announcement for Electronic Arts, stating their world-renowned games emphasizing fun and realism are finally coming to the Japanese Mega Drive soon. This page announces the first wave of Electronic Arts titles hitting the Sega Mega Drive in Japan, launching simultaneously in late November. Leading the charge are three highly anticipated Western hits. First up is John Madden Football, bringing realistic American football action with multiple modes and detailed strategies. Fans can expect deep simulation and challenging gameplay. Next is NHL Hockey, delivering fast-paced, authentic ice hockey simulations. With simple controls and accurate player data, it captures the intensity of the sport, letting players guide their favorite teams to victory. Rounding out the initial release is Road Rash, a thrilling and violent motorcycle racing game. Players race at high speeds, using fists and weapons to take down rivals and avoid obstacles in a no-rules battle for first place. The page also teases future releases, including Team USA Basketball, featuring superstar Michael Jordan, and Crew Ball, a pinball game based on the legendary heavy metal band Motley Crue. These titles are published by Electronic Arts Victor. This page is dedicated to the announcement and preview of Phantasy Star IV, Generations of Doom on the Sega Mega Drive, known as Matengu no Sumetsu in Japan. The striking artwork features key characters against a dramatic backdrop with crumbling structures, hinting at the game's epic fantasy setting. The text introduces the protagonists Rune, Alnus, and Maya, Lilith, detailing their encounter with a knight, Chryse, in a village and their subsequent journey. It highlights the challenges they face from strong enemies, and the support they receive from companions, including a ninja, Mew, enabling them to overcome dangerous situations. The description touches upon Alnus's grim fate in battle, and how Lilith's kindness soothes him, posing questions about who awaits Alnus and his destiny. The game is announced for release in late January, and utilizes an 8 Mega ROM cartridge equipped with battery backup for saving progress, a crucial feature for an RPG of this scope. The provisional price is listed as 8,900 yen before tax. This page serves as an exciting early look at this major RPG title from Kodansha Saken. This page continues the preview of Phantasy Star II, known as Matengu no Sumetsu in Japan. The striking artwork features Rune, Alnus, and Maya, Lilith, positioned in front of a broken, ornate frame, which reflects a large, shadowy figure with glowing eyes standing behind them. The background within the reflection shows crumbling structures, hinting at the devastated world or challenges they face. The bold text addresses Rune directly, posing the dramatic question, "Alnus, the shadow standing behind you, who is it?" This emphasizes a pivotal mystery surrounding the shadowy figure, suggesting it is a key element of the game's plot, and potentially related to Rune's destiny hinted at on the previous page. This page primarily advertises two upcoming games. The upper section focuses on Afterburner 2i for the Mega CD, featuring a striking image of a pilot and announcing its release date of November 20th, with a price of 8,400 yen. Vertical text on the side declares, "Scramble, command issued," tying into the game's aerial combat theme. The lower left of the page showcases Speedball 2 as the first title in an overseas masterpiece series, describing it as an unexperienced future sport. This game is listed for the Mega Drive, priced at 6,800 yen, highlighting its origin from the Bitmap brothers, before being reprogrammed for the Japanese market. The page effectively promotes these two distinct titles for Sega's platforms. This page features advertisements for two different simulation games. The upper portion announces that Megalomania, described as a battle evolution simulation game, has had its release decided. It will be an 8 mega room SLG, with the price yet to be determined. The artwork depicts a striking female character alongside a sphere showcasing scenes from different historical periods of warfare, hinting at the game's theme. It notes involvement from Virgin Games, Sensible Software, Execo, and Cry. The lower section promotes Dyna Brothers, a comical strategy simulation game, stating its popularity is rising and that it has received high ratings from magazines and was recommended for summer vacation. Dyna Brothers is an 8 mega room SLG priced at 8,800 yen, tax excluded, and features cartoon dinosaur characters in its artwork. This page announces the upcoming release of J.League Champion Soccer for the Mega Drive, an officially licensed game by the Japan Professional Soccer League. Developed by Game Arts and distributed by Shogakukan Production, this title promises a realistic soccer experience combining action and simulation gameplay. It features real J.League team and player names, including stars like Kazuyoshi Miura and Rui Ramos, and allows up to 8 players to compete in the J.League mode. Players can choose from 10 teams and select from 6 different formations, with detailed graphics and sound, aiming to create an immersive match atmosphere. Scheduled for a January release, this exciting soccer game is priced at 7,800 yen. This page features two exciting fun racing games endorsed by legendary fun driver Satoru Nakajima. Prominently displayed are Fry1 Super License for the Sega Mega Drive and Super Fry1 Hero for the Super Famicom. F1 Super License aims for realism, featuring real driver names, teams, cars, and circuits, with enhanced graphics and animation, allowing players to experience smooth racing action with save capabilities. Super F1 Hero focuses on immersion, with a 3D cockpit view and customizable car settings, recreating real-world circuits. Both titles promise an authentic Fry1 experience, featuring appearances from famous drivers of the era like Senna and Mansell, capturing the intensity of the Formula One World Championship. This page features a promotion for SoftBank's PC First Step Fair, highlighting their series of introductory computer books available at bookstores nationwide in the autumn. The fair caters to both absolute beginners and those with some experience, offering resources to learn about personal computing. Featured books from the Hajime no Ippo, First Step, series cover essential software and operating systems of the time, such as Lotus 123, VZ Editor, Hanako, and various versions of MS-DOS. The visual design is bright and inviting, featuring cartoon-like characters interacting with representations of the books. The fair is positioned as an opportunity during the season for learning and delving deeper into the world of computers. This page lists the participating bookstores across Japan for the SoftBank PC Book Fair mentioned previously, organized by region with details on their locations and participation periods. This page is the table of contents, detailing the features and articles inside. It leads off with a new Game Scramble section covering a variety of upcoming titles like the incredible beat-in MUP Streets of Rage 2, the high-speed racer Road Rash, the classic platformer Gods, and arcade ports like Glock and Xenon 2, alongside sports titles and Japan-specific releases. Following that is the B-Mega Hot Menu, highlighting popular current games including Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the addictive puzzle game Puyo Puyo, and the charming platformer Mickey and Donald, World of Illusion. A major special feature is dedicated to the legendary Sonic the Hedgehog 2, exploring the return of the supersonic hero. The magazine also covers the 4th Mega Drive Academy Awards Festival, and a special report on the first GSAT release, Doraemon. There's an impassioned declaration about the Mega Drive, and a sales promotion plan for Langrisser. A significant bonus is an appendix providing a guide for entering the underground sections of Landstalker, the King's Treasure. The Mega CD Press introduces new titles for the CD add-on, such as 3x3 Eyes, Afterburner 2i, Populous 2, Time Gal, Road Blaster FX, and Sulfies. Scattered throughout are reader columns, industry insights, strategy guides, and information on other Sega systems like the Game Gear, and upcoming PC releases like the TerraDrive PC Collection. A small comic strip illustrating a character blending something in a kitchen adds a touch of visual fun. This page dives into the shop data, analyzing sales trends for both Mega Drive and Game Gear software. The Mega Drive Top 10 reveals a month, with a blend of new and established games, reflecting fewer recent major releases. Mega CD titles are making a significant impact this period. The top spot goes to the adventure title Rise of the Dragon, with Shura no Mon holding strong at second and Thunderstorm FX in third. Other notable games in the ranking include Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2, the excellent shooter Thunder Force IV, the RPG Burai, action game Wonder Dog, Simulation Admiral's Decision, King Salmon, and Prince of Persia. The analysis points out the increasing prominence of Mega CD software as a highlight, anticipating a strong push into the holiday season. For Game Gear, the research into popular software lists the top 5. The RPG Shotem Crusader leads the pack, with Gyankebler Jiko Chushin Ha and the iconic Sonic the Hedgehog also proving highly popular. Columns and the Game Gear version of Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2 fill out the rest of the top sellers. A small column previews a new puzzle game release, suggesting a potential return to prominence for the genre. This page dives into the pulse of the gaming scene, starting with the user data section, which lists the top 20 games that players are hoping to see migrated to the Mega Drive. With recent entries into the market from developers like Konami and Ika Victor, the anticipation for new ports is high. The ranking shows strong demand for major titles like Street Fighter II, classic RPG series like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quests, and popular arcade games, reflecting a diverse range of desired genres and platforms. Previews for games like F-22 Interceptor and historical simulations hint at some of the types of titles catching attention. Below that, the shop data section shifts focus to the arcade scene, presenting the video game top 5 based on popularity reported by arcade shops. This ranking highlights the current big hitters on the coin-op circuit. The top spot is held by the enduring fighting phenomenon Street Fighter II, followed by Capcom's quiz game Capcom World 2, the fighting game World Heroes, the motorcycle racer Coca-Cola Suzuka 8 Hours from Namco, and the racing series continuation Final Lap 3, also from Namco. This shows a mix of fighting, racing, and more casual genres doing well in arcades. This page dives into the heart of what Mega Drive users are eagerly awaiting, presenting the user data top 20 for most anticipated new games. An editorial note highlights the current excitement surrounding recent releases and upcoming titles like Sonic 2, Puyo Puyo, and Streets of Rage 2, listed here as Bare Knuckle 2, noting the increasing interest in CD games. The top spot is claimed by Sonic the Hedgehog 2, scoring an impressive 99 points, showing immense anticipation for the sequel, which is said to exceed the original in excitement, emphasizing speed. Following at number 2 is the manga-based RPG Holy Beast Legend 3x3 Eyes, highly awaited despite a planned release delay. Phantasy Star IV, the next installment in the beloved RPG series, secures the 3rd position, with mentions of revamped characters and high expectations. Final Fight CD takes 4th place, promising a faithful arcade port and confirming the long-desired 2-player simultaneous mode. Rounding out the top 5 is Puyo Puyo, making a strong entry and noted for its addictive puzzle gameplay that has sparked a boom. The ranking continues down to number 20, listing other anticipated titles such as Streets of Rage 2, The Requiem of Death, Bare Knuckle 2, Times Gal, Yumemi Kusu, Thunder Force IV, Denjin Aleste, and Phantasy Star Gaiden, Sylphide Provisional. This list showcases a mix of genres including action, RPGs, and shooters, demonstrating the diverse tastes of Mega Drive fans. Sega's new software schedule unveils upcoming games for the Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear. The Mega Drive boasts a robust lineup, including anticipated titles like Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, Streets of Rage 2, and Phantasy Star IV, with releases planned for late 1992 and early 1993. The Mega CD section showcases interactive and action games such as Time Gal and Road Avenger. The Game Gear schedule highlights portable versions of popular series like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. An editorial section comments on the excitement surrounding recent announcements, like Konami's arrival, and notes the Mega Drive's strong position heading into the coming months, emphasizing future releases, including titles based on popular manga. This page is the Soft Maker message board, where various companies share updates directly with the readers. Sega is running a contest for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and holding a big game tournament. Wolf Team is highlighting the opening theme for their upcoming Mega CD title Road Blasters FX, which is proving popular. Compile is preparing a new historical simulation set in feudal Japan, promising intense battles, and Soft Vision is bringing the fun of pachinko home for the holidays. Namco's message includes a nostalgic note about balljacks. Koei details their next strategic release, European Front, focused on WW2 battles. Career confirms Afterburner 2i is launching soon, featuring a special hidden view mode for those who prefer it, and also mentions Megalomania. Data West sets the release date for the Mega CD adventure game Aya. Tenjin apologizes for delays but confirms Rampart and RB. Baseball 4 are on the way, hyping Rampart's intense combat and building mechanics. Finally, Riot teases a trio of Mega CD titles including Thunder, Galactic Railroad, and Cyborg, while Microworld is bringing a popular PC Engine kickboxing game to the Mega Drive. This page presents the BeepMD Race, a unique review segment. At the top, 2 games are previewed. Koei's strategy giant Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2y, the latest entry featuring extensive scenarios and character creation, and Kaniko's fighting game Deadly Rivals, Power Athlete, highlighting its original characters and basic gameplay. The core of the page uses a dog race metaphor for reviews, with scores presented as odds. Reviewers with different perspectives: a beginner, a foreign game user, a Mania Group editor, and a general user share their thoughts. The Game Mania Group focuses on Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i, noting its visual improvements but remaining challenging for new players. The general game user provides feedback on Deadly Rivals, finding its character movement and fights somewhat lacking despite easy special moves, while also touching upon experiences with games like Phantasy Star 2i. The section explains that the odds are average scores from 4 reviewers based on nearly complete game builds, serving as a purchasing guide. This page is part of the BeepMD Race review feature, showcasing 4 Sega Genesis games. The first game is Madden NFL, described as a faithful port of the Genesis version. Reviewers note it's best for players familiar with American football rules and strategies, praising the cool 3D quarterback view and giving it average odds of 7.0. Next is NHL Hockey, a port of the Genesis title. It's considered simple fun despite some awkward player movements and lack of realism in contact. The controls are easy, making it potentially good for beginners. It scores average odds of 6.5. Road Rash is a violent racing game where you can punch and kick opponents off their bikes. Reviewers find the fighting aspect highly entertaining, almost overshadowing the racings. It's described as having a Mad Max atmosphere and good quality 3D representation, earning average odds of 7.0. Finally, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is reviewed. It receives high praise for its increased speed, new features like the spin dash, though it takes getting used to, and the inclusion of Tails and 2P modes. Reviewers found the special stages fun and the overall presentation polished, with the game easily surpassing its predecessor. Despite minor issues with split screen, it's deemed highly satisfying and gets the highest average odds of 9.0. This page continues the BeepMD Race review feature, this time looking at Rampart and Afterburner 2i for the Genesis/Mega Drive, Capcom's Quiz, Tokonobori Ryu no Yabu for the Mega CD, and the Game Gear version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Rampart is presented as a faithful port of the classic Atari arcade game, focusing on building fortifications and placing cannons. The reviewer found it initially confusing but ultimately addictive, highlighting the action and puzzle elements and praising the strategic head-to-head play, giving it a score of 7.25. Afterburner 2i on the Mega CD, based on the Glock/Strike Fighter series, features F-14 action. However, Reviewers felt it lacked dynamism and impact compared to its arcade origins, finding the gameplay a bit bland, despite decent music. It received a score of 4.75. Capcom's quiz. Tokonobori Ryu no Yabu for the Mega CD is an arcade quiz game port with a country-conquering element. Reviewers enjoyed the competitive aspect and the inclusion of voice acting, noting it's a solid quiz title on the platform. It scored 7.25. Finally, the Game Gear version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is reviewed. As a sequel for the handheld, it features surprisingly good speed for the system and fun vehicle sections. While it lacks the polish and scope of the Genesis version reviewed previously, it's still considered a worthwhile handheld title, earning a score of 6.0. This page features reviews for two upcoming games, Streets of Rage and the GG Shinobi 2, alongside editorial commentary on the state of new releases. Streets of Rage, or Bare Knuckle as it's known here, is reviewed as a home version of the beat-em-up genre. While the music is praised, reviewers found the character sprites too small, and the gameplay somewhat simplified compared to what they expected, with bosses being too easy. This led to mixed feelings among reviewers, reflected in an average score of 5.5, though the final score is a 7. The GG Shinobi 2 for the Game Gear is reviewed positively as a follow-up, featuring 5 playable ninjas, and challenging, pattern-based gameplay that also includes a treasure hunting element. It's called a masterpiece, with an average score of 7.0, leading to a final score of 8. General commentary from the editorial team expresses continued excitement for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, notes the potential in overseas titles, and anticipates good releases from Ecce Victor. Overall, the lineup of upcoming games is seen as promising. This page presents the 21st volume of the BeepMD Reader's Race, a unique feature where readers rate Mega Drive games on a 10-point scale, influencing a dynamic ranking chart based on their average scores. The main section displays the current top 50 games, noting new entries and Mega CD titles. Several games are highlighted with reader and magazine score comparisons and brief commentary. Dyna Brothers, ranked 9th, is noted for its populace-like gameplay, cute characters, and interesting discoveries, though its ending and explanation are found lacking by some. Thunderstorm FX, at 16th, is praised for its impressive visuals and sound, but criticisms include the fixed cursor and lack of freedom, despite being a revived Laserdisc game. Legend of the Eight Orbs, at 44th, is seen as plainer than its PC counterpart, with disappointing old-style visuals, but the scenario is considered good. Paperboy, ranked 71st, is described as strangely addictive despite simple gameplay, with noted difficulty and awkward controls, leading to mixed reader opinions. A brief overview of the chart mentions Lunar, the Silver Star's score slightly dropping, but the top ranks remaining tight. Dyna Brothers is singled out as a game to watch for climbing potential. The page also briefly touches on other entries outside the main ranking, including a golf game, Ozaki Naomichi's Supermasters, which receives mixed feedback on its music, caddy advice, but solid core mechanics. This page continues the Reader's Race feature, showcasing more games and their reader rankings based on average scores. Featured games include Bahamut Senki at 47th, noted for its strategic elements and varied master styles despite limited maps. Sorcerian, ranked 55th, is highlighted as an older but enjoyable RPG, with satisfying puzzle solving. Afterburner 2 at 57th receives high praise for its port quality, music, and intense action, considered excellent for stress relief. Columns, ranked 59th, is celebrated as a great arcade port and addictive puzzle game, good for casual play and featuring a 2-player mode. The page also introduces a disappointing games section, featuring Osomatsu-kun, Hachimeka Gekiju at 224th, criticized for its difficulty, poor controls and bugs, and Double Dragon 2, The Revenge at 225th, described as having childish art, clunky controls, and being worse than previous versions. The ranking chart continues down to 112th place, listing many other games and their reader scores. A section titled, Voices from the Racetrack, Owner's Voice, shares brief comments from readers. This page continues the BeepMD Reader's Race rankings, showing games from 113 down to 174. The main focus is on the featured game, Star Cruiser, reviewed by Olix. The reviewer expresses a strong fondness for polygon graphics in 3D, highlighting Star Cruiser's impressive, fast 3D polygon rendering as its greatest appeal, especially considering the hardware of the time. He mentions owning earlier versions on PC 8000, 801, and X68000, and finding the Mega Drive version the most polished. Gameplay is described as a unique blend of flight simulation for combat and movement, combined with adventure elements for story progression, with both aspects seamlessly integrated. The presentation of events and subtle details are also praised. Reader feedback on Star Cruiser is included, noting that while space combat is initially challenging, it becomes very enjoyable, with the Catiothark dogfight being a highlight. Despite some slowdown in base areas, the story and music are cited as strong points that make the game highly replayable. There's also a mention of hoping for a sequel, perhaps on Mega CD. The page includes data from the reader polls, showing the game's consistent good performance and distribution of scores. The Beep Mega Drive Reader's Race analyzes games by data size, weight, exploring the high-capacity era. Games are ranked by cartridge size, 12 meters, 8 meters, etc., showcasing titles like Shining Force, 12 meters, and Columns, 1 meter. An article, Is Bigger Better?, investigates the relationship between game size and quality. Finding the correlation isn't always straightforward. The page continues the overall reader ranking list from rank 175, highlighting various games and scores. 2 reader contests are announced. One predicts Vixen 357's ranking, the other predicts Landstalker's average score, with screenshots provided. Prizes include Alien Cubed and a game of the winner's choice. The editorial notes unpredictable results and anticipates future rankings influenced by games like Sonic 2 and Landstalker. This page features the B-Mega CM Detective Team, exploring commercials for Sega Mega Drive games. The first segment looks at the Landstalker CM, detailing how it visually transforms a flat map into a dynamic 3D space, using advanced video effects, capturing the spirit of a virtual adventure. The second section focuses on unique imported commercials from France, dubbed the Sega Master Challenge. These CMS feature various figures like Ayrton Senna, Terminator, Indiana Jones, and Olympic gold athletes, each mounting a challenge against the Sega Master, representing Sega's consoles. A humorous concept shows these challengers ultimately overcome by Sega's powerful new game releases. Notably, director Michael Utterback, known for the Terminator films, contributed to these spots, which were airing across Europe and even in French movie theaters. The feature concludes by inviting readers to share information on old CMS and teases a look at the Sonic 2 commercial next month. This page features B-Mega Racing Freak Volume 7, covering the JSPC and F3 races held at Sportsland Sugo. This section delves into the world of real-life motorsports, a common interest for players of racing games. It reports on the All Japan Sports Prototype Championship (JSPC) race, highlighting the victory of the Calsonic Nissan team, driven by the legendary Kazuyoshi Hoshino and Toshio Suzuki. The text notes Nissan's strong performance leading up to this event and their dominance here. It also covers the All Japan F3 Championship, focusing on the battle for the title. Capcom-sponsored driver Kenji Ishikawa is featured for his strong performance, pushing hard from the start and ultimately securing second place. The report confirms that Lee's clinched the F3 championship in this race. The page is filled with dynamic photos capturing the action, including racing cars on the track, the start grid, the podium ceremony with victorious drivers and race queens, and scenes from the circuit, providing a vivid look at the excitement of Japanese motorsports. This page is buzzing with news about upcoming Sega Genesis and Sega CD peripherals and events. Sega is set to release a wave of new hardware next year, including the highly anticipated 6-button controller, a mouse that also functions as a trackball, and a multi-adapter for 4-player action. For Sega CD users, a karaoke unit is coming soon, letting you belt out tunes through the console. The Wonder Mega system is also getting a boost with a MIDI decoder cartridge, allowing it to control external MIDI instruments based on music data from CEDs. In event news, the Planet Sega World event is announced, promising new software reveals and special guest appearances. The page also covers a visit by French National TV to Sega headquarters for a show on the Japanese game scene and the European Sega CD market, with the magazine's editor joining in. This page brings news from across the gaming and entertainment world, starting with Konami's new amusement facility, Circo Porto, opening in Kobe, offering sea views, arcade games, and dining. Sega reveals ambitious plans to build 50 interactive-themed amusement parks nationwide over the next 5 years, moving beyond traditional arcades, with the first major site planned for Osaka. A new TV show called Adam's Feelings on WoWow is highlighted, aiming to make game information accessible to a wide audience through visualizations and hosted by talents like Kozue Inaba. Inaba is also featured in an interview, sharing her thoughts on Sega and her struggles with UFO catcher machines. The page also lists new media releases, including music crids from artists like Miki Mizuno and Yumiko Takahashi, a Falcom game music album by the London Symphony Orchestra, a CD by Tokyo Panorama Boys, a video version of Solvaloo based on Xevious, and a comedy video series. This page introduces the latest entry in the classic OR-Type series, OR-Type Leo, highlighting its exciting new feature, 2-player simultaneous play. The article delves into the game's backstory, set on a distant planet called Eden, where humanity created a powerful brain entity, Messiah, which eventually turned hostile, leading to a war between planets. OR-Type Leo begins with players descending into this conflict. The game features a total of 6 stages, starting in orbit around Eden, moving through diverse environments like deserts, green plants, and floating continents, and finally culminating in a showdown with Messiah at the planet's core. A significant gameplay change from previous Star-type titles is the absence of the iconic Force unit. Instead, the bit units have been greatly enhanced, offering new tactical possibilities. The article expresses strong enthusiasm, suggesting the game's impact is something that truly needs to be experienced firsthand. Separately, there's a brief news piece showcasing Sega's advancements in polygon imaging technology, teasing the future possibilities for arcade graphics, and showcasing examples like Megalopolis. This page features information on the game Alien Cubed. It starts by noting how quickly licensed foreign software like Alien Cubed is released on the Mega Drive compared to the movie premiere in Japan, expressing admiration. The article positions Alien Cubed as one of the recent overseas titles that is refined and structured more like a Japanese game, contrasting it with earlier foreign games sometimes seen as unpolished. The gameplay is straightforward: navigate maze-like levels, rescue survivors within a time limit, and escape. Of course, the levels are filled with aliens to avoid or confront. A notable feature is the radar display in the top right corner, reminiscent of the radar in the Aliens movie, which helps detect enemies off-screen. While initially challenging, getting used to the radar makes the game much more enjoyable. Players can find various weapons like machine guns, bombs, and flamethrowers, switching between them freely, but each has limited ammunition. Understanding enemy locations via the radar is key to strategy. The game's smooth character animation and presentation earn praise, with the reviewer noting its feel is similar to the Terminator, which was discussed previously. It's highly recommended for fans of overseas games and action titles. The bottom section includes information about a software giveaway from Messe Sano 2i, offering titles such as Double Dragon, Super High Impact, Smash TV, and Predator 2. A map of Messe Sano's Akihabara location is also provided. This page announces the first game for Sega's GSAT system, which is a Doraemon title called Yume Dorobu to 79 no Gozansu. Scheduled for a March 93 release as a 4-megabit action game, this marks the GRISAT's debut. The article positions it not merely as a character game, but a full-fledged action title designed to appeal to traditional Mega Drive users. It's described as a side-view action game set on the Dream Planet, where Doraemon battles a thief and their 7 associates who are stealing children's dreams. Gameplay involves interacting with the environment, like stepping on blocks to make music, and utilizing familiar 4D pocket items. Screenshots show varied stages, including one resembling playing cards and another with Lego-like blocks. The development staff emphasizes originality and detail in bringing Doraemon to life, incorporating new systems for his movements and expressions. A photo shows the development team, noting the project is currently 40% complete, indicating the effort going into making it an enjoyable experience for all, including adults. This page kicks off a new release scramble, giving us a look at some upcoming titles. A list at the top features games like Mazin Saga, Mutant Fighter, Glock, Air Battle, Xenon 2 Mega Blasts, Gods, Streets of Rage 2, and Road Rash, among others, alongside some Japan-exclusive sports and pachinko games. The main focus here is on J.League Champion Soccer from Shogakukan Pro/Game Arts, scheduled for a late January release at 7,800 yen. This 4-megabit sports title, currently 80% complete, is highlighted as Japan's most anticipated sport and features 2-player versus play. The article notes the inclusion of detailed player data for speed, tackling, sliding, dribbling, and shooting, making it a good reference for fans. The gameplay is described as orthodox, with 6 formations, promising high strategic depth and exciting set plays like free kicks. Up to 8 players can participate in different modes. Screenshots show the team selection screen, featuring rotating team logos, which the reviewer finds cool, and the in-game side view action. There's also mention of player introductions upon entry. The page also includes a section showcasing the J.League teams included in the game, each with a small illustration and a brief description of their origin. This page continues the new release scramble, highlighting 3 more upcoming titles. First up is Mazine Saga, Mutant Fighter, an action game based on the classic Go Nagai series. Scheduled for a February release and currently 60% complete, it's described as featuring dynamic movements and being a Mega Drive original, possibly including new enemy designs like the shown Machine Beast. The article expresses anticipation for the game's main mode, and screenshots show Mazinger Z battling various foes. Next is Boogie Woogie Bowling, a tentative title for Visco's upcoming sports game. This is the Mega Drive's first bowling title, supporting up to 4 players. Set for a January release and 90% complete, it features different bowlers with unique stats and modes like computer versus and multiplayer battles. The reviewer finds the sound effects and pin reactions promising, and notes features like adjustable ball weight and spin control that feel similar to a golf game. Finally, released in December and 100% complete, is Satoru Nakajima, F1 Super License. This racing game is the latest in the series from Vari, featuring real free-run drivers and courses presented from a top-down view. The article highlights improvements over the previous title, addressing criticisms about qualifying times and control responsiveness, making it significantly more playable. Screenshots showcase the driver selection screen featuring recognizable Flay1 legends, car setup options, and the top-down race view, confirming the use of real-world names. This page showcases 3 upcoming or recently released games. Yorapa Sensen WW2 Game Dai 2 Dan, a strategy simulation, puts players in command of armored corps during World War II in Europe. Currently 60% complete, it offers both Axis and Allied campaigns, tactical combat, and a 2-player mode. The Kickboxing, an 80% complete port from the PC Engine, is a fighting game where players strive to become the champion, offering a training mode, customizable movesets, and replays. Finally, Pachinko Kunyan, already 100% complete, is a unique pachinko adventure released in December. Players guide Renchan through pachinko parlors to find her missing father, combining pachinko gameplay with puzzle solving and adventure elements. This page previews 3 upcoming titles. First up is Glock, a tense flight combat simulation where players must shoot down a set number of enemies within a time limit. Currently undergoing final adjustments and 70% complete, the Mega Drive version is compared to Afterburner 2i on Mega CD, suggesting similar high-octane action. There's speculation about potential new features like a shop system, where players might purchase powerful weapons based on their score. Screenshots showcase the cockpit perspective and intense aerial battles, including one memorable image displaying, "We've run out of time." Next is Xenon 2, a vertical scrolling shooter notable for its bold use of acid house music. At 90% completion, the game features powerful weapons and a shop system where players can purchase upgrades, with a rapid-fire controller deemed essential. The game offers satisfying moments of wiping out enemies, especially with upgraded weapons. The screenshots display the frantic shooting action and the detailed shop interface. Finally, Gods, an action puzzle platformer with a backdrop of Greek mythology, is also 90% complete. Developed by the same team as Xenon 2, it challenges players with clever puzzles integrated with combat. The game is praised for its beautiful graphics and compelling scenario based on the legend of Heracles. Players will encounter puzzles, enemies, and utilize a shop for necessary items. Screenshots show the intricate level design and character sprite, as well as the shop screen. The reviewers note the deep gameplay and catchy music. This page is a deep dive into the highly anticipated Streets of Rage 2. The magazine expresses immense excitement, stating they've been waiting for a fighting game like this. A major highlight is the technical feat of handling 5 or more enemies simultaneously in the 2-player mode without any slowdown, which was a significant improvement. The preview notes the game is currently 70% complete, with character movements and the core system nearly finished, though backgrounds and the versus mode are still in development. Releasing on January 14th as a 16-megabit title, it's 4 times the size of the original Streets of Rage, contributing to much more dynamic character animations. The story is set 1 year after the first game, with Mr. X returning and kidnapping Adam. Axel and Blaze are joined by Adam's friend Max and his younger brother Eddie, known as Sammy in the international version, to rescue him. A key focus is the unique special moves for each of the 4 playable characters, addressing a critique of the first game where characters had similar abilities. Axel has moves like Grand Upper and Kick Charge. Blaze utilizes moves such as Circular Kick and Back Attack. Max unleashes Thunder Tackle and Backbreaker, and Eddie/Sammy uses Corkscrew Kick and Arm Slam. Standard techniques like combos and jumping attacks return. The page also features a brief look at the enemy Electra, sometimes called Nora, focusing on her electrifying whip attack. This page showcases 3 completed ESA Victor titles hitting the Mega Drive on November 20th. First is John Madden Football, presented as a masterpiece, faithfully recreating the NFL. Building on the popular Genesis version, it features realistic formations, weather, team settings, and includes all 28 NFL teams from the era. The preview notes its realistic audio and replay functionality, emphasizing the authentic experience it offers to fans. Next is NHL Hockey, which challenges players not to shy away from penalties. Unlike the localized scope of the football title, this game features national teams worldwide and is based on the 909-1 season statistics, including a tournament mode. The review highlights the realism of the skating, falls, and powerful slapshots. Rounding out the page is Road Rash, promising the combined thrill of high-speed racing and motorcycle combat. Players race against rivals, using fighting techniques to gain position and earn prize money. Success requires finishing in the top positions to advance through different courses, but watch out for crashes or getting caught by the police, as you'll lose your winnings. The game packs in various exciting elements for a unique racing experience. All 3 titles are listed as 100% complete and support 2 player modes. This page features the regular This Month's discussion column, focusing on the body color of game consoles, specifically the Sega Mega Drive. Readers share their opinions on the console's iconic black finish. One reader emphasizes the importance of console color in reflecting the hardware's image, finding the black Mega Drive sleek and cool, suggesting the console wouldn't have been successful in a different color. Others compare it to competitors like the Super Famicom and PC Engine, noting how their colors evolved or targeted different demographics. Some opinions highlight the black body as stylish and suitable for adults, while others feel it might appear cheap or less approachable to casual or female players compared to more recent consoles that feel higher quality. There's discussion on whether the black was chosen to differentiate from the white Mark II. The overall sentiment from the featured letters leans towards liking the black design for its coolness and sharp look, though some acknowledge criticisms regarding its perceived cheapness. The editorial note mentions that most responses were from core male users, lamenting the lack of feedback from female players. The page also previews the theme for the upcoming February issue, which will cover the dreams of 93 Mega Drive users. An illustration of a small bird and a walking plant figure is also present. This page features the user's voice section, where fans share their thoughts on the Sega Mega Drive scene. Readers are excited about Konami entering the market, hoping for quality arcade ports like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and reflecting on past Konami classics. Discussions also revolve around the rise of K-Drum games, with opinions split on the format's advantages. While acknowledging the potential for improved visuals promised by the larger capacity, readers express concerns about pricing, the lack of 8cm CD support, and a perceived imbalance where lengthy visual scenes take precedence over actual gameplay presentation, sometimes resulting in jarring transitions to simpler graphics. Other topics include the console's marketing and PR efforts, and a desire for specific game genres like an adventure game based on Lupin III. There's also notable feedback about the increasing number of ports from the Genesis, the US version, and a call for more original Japanese titles to balance the library. Accompanying the feedback are user-submitted illustrations featuring characters from popular games like Shining Force, Cody from Final Fight, Puyo Puyo, and Sonic the Hedgehog, showcasing the community's engagement with the titles on the platform. This page features the BeepMD section, showcasing the voices and artwork of Mega Drive fans. Readers share their thoughts on current games and the console scene. Feedback highlights a strong desire for more original Mega Drive software, with positive reactions to RPGs like Lunar and adventure titles such as Rise of the Dragon, praising their stories, visuals, and appeal. However, some readers express challenges when comparing the Mega Drive to the Super Famicom, citing issues like the controller being too large for some users, concerns about the console's perceived durability, and finding some MD games more tiring compared to popular SNES titles like Street Fighter II. This echoes previous discussions about console rivalry and hardware preferences. Readers also touch upon the broadening demographics of gamers, including housewives. Accompanying the feedback are user-submitted illustrations featuring a variety of characters, including fan art from series like 3x3 Eyes and Haruka, alongside original fantasy character designs, showcasing the community's creative engagement. The large illustration in the center is noted as feedback related to the game Lunar. A small section at the bottom also serves as a complaint corner, discussing topics like game theme songs. This page continues the BeepMD fan corner, featuring reader submissions and commentary. It includes a section dedicated to the theme song for Rent a Hero, sharing some of the lyrics and commenting on their quality. The reader feedback section, BeepMD Talk, presents humorous rankings and individual comments from players. Topics range from feeling like a country bumpkin to quirky experiences at arcades, including strange encounters and observations about games like Alan Proust's Fry One Game, Time Gal, and Columns. One comment notes the appearance of Sonic Team President Yuji Naka, humorously attributing a cowlick to working late. Another section, MegaDrive Embarrassing Scenes, asks readers to recall and submit moments from Sega Mega Drive games that they found embarrassing to imitate. The accompanying illustration depicts a character resembling the protagonist from Shatterhand, though the focus is on embarrassing scenes specifically within Mega Drive titles. Readers are encouraged to share their nominations. Finally, the B-Mega Focus segment highlights a Pirate Famicom version of Street Fighter II. It describes the game's characters, simplified two-button controls, and suggests it might make for an unusual souvenir if traveling to Hong Kong. The editor concludes the page by thanking readers for their submissions and encouraging more postcards to keep the section lively. This page continues the BeepMD fan corner, presenting more reader submissions and commentary. The A Word from Beeple section includes brief messages from readers, touching upon personal gaming experiences like playing Phantasy Star II after work, observations about games like Puyo Puyo, and thoughts on winning magazine prizes. Various submission sections cover different themes. Readers were asked to submit essays on their dreams for Mega Drive hardware and software, share opinions on hardware like the Game Gear and various software titles in user's voice, and air complaints in Complaints. The Bin Talk section seems to continue the theme of amusing anecdotes, possibly related to character poses or embarrassing gaming moments, while the Illustrations section welcomes reader artwork, specifically mentioning a 4-panel manga titled MD-kun, which is also featured on the page, depicting comedic takes on gaming choices and experiences. An accompanying illustration shows a distressed figure saying, "Oh no," adding to the page's lighthearted tone. An apology notes a correction from the November issue, confirming Leatherhead was indeed the correct character name in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles article. The page also lists the winners from the October issue's presents, including winners of Mega Drive and Game Gear software, Thunder Force IV original creds, Super Stadium posters, and other items, detailing the types of prizes awarded across different regions. Finally, a small section lists readers whose submissions were published, highlighting the magazine's engagement with its audience. This page features a special edition of the Sonic Communication newsletter from Sonic Software Planning, celebrating their recent office move with a Moving Special section. The page is filled with celebratory messages and photographs showcasing the new office space, which is described as significantly cleaner and brighter than their previous location. The team expresses excitement about the move and getting back to game development in the new environment. The page includes a column by Hiroyuki Takahashi titled, "I Want to Make the Industry Interesting," offering his thoughts. There's also a humorous diary entry from a new employee, Okada Hanako, sharing her first impressions of the office and the surrounding area, including seeking out local food spots, despite the distance. A mention is made of Yuji Horii, the creator of the Dragon Quest series, and a reference to Dragon Quest V, acknowledging its recent release. The page is rounded out by a small cartoon with a playful caption. The overall sentiment is one of optimism and excitement for the future in their new headquarters. This page features a special discussion commemorating the announcement of Shining Force Gaiden, titled Taguchi Michihisa's Maxim Battle Royale. It brings in guest composer Motoaki Takeuchi. The conversation covers Takeuchi's background, including his work on titles like Jewel Master and Landstalker, and discusses the challenges of composing for games and the excitement around music concerts. There's banter and humorous exchanges between the participants. The page also includes hand-drawn messages reflecting personal mottos or observations. A bonus section recounts a humorous experience during the office move. And the ending section updates readers on the Sonic Communication newsletter and mentions the upcoming Shining Force Gaiden and the announcement of Shining Force 2, asking for continued support. The page includes photographs of the participants and scenes related to the office and the move. This page provides an interim report on the fan participation project for the Sega CD-RPG VE. The project, which invited users to submit ideas and artwork, has concluded its application period. While many entries were received, some did not align with the game's world and could not be used. However, as a token of appreciation, the names of all applicants will be included in VE's ending staff credits. The page showcases several user submissions that, while not directly adopted, were deemed interesting or appealing, focusing on character designs for the game's residents. Examples include character concepts, with dialogue exploring themes like love confessions, and interactions with in-game characters like Syria. The developers highlight some favorites, such as the charming Radish sister character. They also note challenges, like submissions with excessively long dialogue being difficult to implement in the game. The report concludes by announcing that next month's update will focus on user-submitted monster designs, teasing this with an illustration of a formidable robot creature. This page features the ongoing Sims Exposes Secret Software Info series, this time focusing on Quiz Tonosama no Yabu for the Sega CD. The article delves into the challenging development process, describing it as an exposure story of blood and sweat. The team faced significant hurdles, particularly with the Sega CreD's capabilities, including implementing voice acting for questions and managing the large volume of quiz data. The process involved extensive voice recording sessions and data collection, highlighting the demanding nature of early CreDROM game development. Also included is the latest installment of the manga strip by Toyono Kanata. The page also hosts Showdown Quiz Tonosama Problem 7, a reader challenge related to the game. This month's question is posed by the character Mikoto Sakamen. The challenge involves navigating different routes based on the game's stage select screens. The winners of the previous quiz are announced, featuring 3 individuals from Okayama, Gunma, and Hiroshima prefectures. This page continues the magazine's exploration of new technology, this time diving into the world of virtual reality at a recent expo. The article highlights the demanding hardware required for VR, contrasting powerful graphics workstations like those from Silicon Graphics, SGI, with personal computers, emphasizing the need for significant processing power. The piece details attending a VR expo and seeing key input devices, including a special mouse/trackball for 3D movement, a VR helmet providing head tracking for viewing the environment, and a gun controller for interaction. A featured VR shooting game is described, taking place on a multi-level chessboard-like map where players engage in combat. The unique visual feedback upon being hit is noted, depicting body parts scattering, an intense experience that one high school attendee found worth paying for. The article reflects on the state of VR technology, suggesting the path forward is both distant and potentially near, hinting at the exciting but perhaps controversial future of these immersive experiences. The B Mega Paranoia column explores the fighting game genre, spurred by Street Fighter II's massive success. It examines the challenge of translating real-world martial arts into video games, contrasting the codified histories of kendo, judo, and karate with the simulated combat of titles like Street Fighter II and Final Fight. While acknowledging the thrill of these games, the author highlights the simplification of techniques and psychological aspects inherent in real combat. The column then analyzes the trend of fighting games post-Street Fighter II, focusing on the MegaDrive title Shura no Mon. Praised for its focus on grappling and tactical depth, the game is seen as potentially better at representing martial arts, especially its focus on throws. Shura no Mon is compared favorably to combat sports like rings. The article concludes by emphasizing the persistent challenge of creating a truly realistic and engaging fighting game experience. This page is a mail-order advertisement from Santa, a Sega specialty store, featuring an illustration of Santa Claus with some mice. It presents an extensive list of Sega Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear games and hardware available for purchase, with prices listed next to each item. The store highlights its Santa's recommended new releases Best 10 for October through December, featuring popular titles like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Landstalker, Puyo Puyo, Power Athlete, Mickey and Donald, Super Shinobi 2, and others, showing their release dates and prices. There's also a Best Hits 20 list, showcasing older popular titles. The page includes a vast MegaDrive soft lineup, listing many games with prices, covering a wide range of genres. It also details pricing for MegaDrive consoles, the MegaDrive Plus, Mega CD, and accessories like various controllers and cables. Game Gear is also featured with console pricing and lists of games available in different price tiers. A note on Mark II-Master System compatibility with adapters is included. Ordering instructions and details on shipping costs are provided. It's a comprehensive catalog page for Sega fans looking to expand their collection. This page features the B Mega Hot menu, highlighting Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i from Koei, a highly anticipated simulation game released on November 8 for 14,800 yen. It boasts 12 megabits plus battery backup, a 100% completion gauge, and supports up to 8 players. This is the third installment in the renowned series. The main feature article, titled Strong Individuals Rise, Harboring Ambitions for Unifying the World, serves as a strategy guide, offering tactical tips, useful information, and advice for newcomers, continuing from the previous issue. The game includes a total of 6 scenarios. While the number of scenarios remains the same as the predecessor, the variety of selectable rulers has significantly increased, allowing players to choose even minor historical figures who were previously unavailable. The page includes a table listing the 6 scenarios by name and starting year, and details which rulers are selectable in each scenario, including characters like Cao Huang and Liu Chen in later stages. Visually, the page features the magazine's bold masthead, the game's title logo, a pixel art rendering of a general, and a large, vibrant illustration depicting several characters in ancient Chinese attire, capturing the epic scale of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era. This guide provides a Be Mega Hot menu to succeed in Romance of the Three Kingdoms 3. Step 1 emphasizes early domestic focus. Flood control, land development, and commerce are prioritized. Balance tax rates around 40% to maintain public opinion. Step 2 stresses the importance of spies for gathering intelligence and enabling commands like scouting and recruiting officers. Step 3 covers officer recruitment. Search monthly. Transfer new officers to distant lands for protection, and use high charm officers to improve loyalty. Step 4 mentions less used commands like diplomacy and strategy, highlighting strategic actions such as false letters, which also require a spy in the target country. This page continues the strategic guide for Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2i. Step 5 stresses the vital importance of consistently training soldiers to boost morale, which can allow units to continue fighting even when their numbers are low. It also points out that naval battles in southern regions require warships. Step 6 focuses on utilizing terrain and structures in combat, detailing how the game's battle map is now 3D hexagonal, and includes detailed city defenses like layered walls and gates that require specific tactics to overcome. It discusses strategic options like laying traps, which are particularly effective near castle gates, and offers advice on countering them. The page highlights how time and weather significantly impact battles, with sunny conditions offering full visibility, while night or fog severely restrict it, affecting unit effectiveness. Finally, it introduces the 4 main unit types: infantry, cavalry, archers, and heavy archers, briefly outlining their roles and strengths in battle. The developer notes the game's detailed settings, realistic city maps, and character interactions. This page features Power Athlete, a fighting game by Knuckle, released in November 1992. Described as the definitive fighting action title, long awaited by MegaDrive fans, it boasts hot characters and exciting versus battles utilizing special moves, aiming for players to become the champion. The game's story involves the protagonist challenging the strongest fighter by traveling the world to face martial arts masters on their home grounds. While there are 8 countries in total, the page highlights 7 meticulously crafted and unique stages. These include diverse locations, such as a temple in Japan, mountains in China, a fight atop a train in Russia, a swaying raft in Hawaii, ancient ruins in Thailand, an elevator in Spain, and a peculiar savanna in Kenya featuring a dinosaur bone. The screenshots showcase the action and the variety of these global stages. This page introduces the 8 diverse fighters from the game Power Athlete, known internationally as Deadly Moves. Following the preview of the game's global stages on the previous page, this section provides profiles for each character. The lineup includes Joe, an American martial artist with a powerful supernova move; Warren from Hawaii, a strong fighter with a big Wednesday attack; Gao Luan from China, a quick martial arts master who throws a boomerang called Double Flying Dragon; Rayon, the sole female fighter, also from China but now fighting from Thailand with techniques like Flying Leg; Vagnad Losnovsky from Russia, a powerful brawler with a devastating double arm; Baraki Chimera from Kenya, a tribal chief with ancestral techniques including the Firestorm; and Nick from Spain, a former bullfighter who now uses a dancing. So developers share a message recommending the game, stating it's a fun and accessible fighting game, particularly highlighting the excitement of the versus mode. This page features Konami's Sega Mega Drive title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist. Released on December 22 for 6,800 yen. Described as a 4 meters action game, it highlights the 4 unique Ninja Turtles engaging in beat-em-up action. The article emphasizes that the true enjoyment comes from the 2-player mode, featuring both cooperative play, where players work together using the Turtles' distinct abilities, and competitive play, where they can challenge each other. The page also introduces the 4 main characters. Leonardo is presented as a balanced fighter suitable for beginners. Michelangelo is a close combat sportsman who excels in rushing in. Donatello, the inventor, prefers keeping distance with his weapon's reach, making him suitable for cautious players. Raphael is a wild, hit-and-run type, known for jumping and running constantly due to his low stamina. The page includes screenshots of the game in action and character portraits. Overall page summary. A feature on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, highlighting gameplay, 2-player modes, and profiling the 4 playable turtles. This page provides a stage-by-stage breakdown and enemy guide for Konami's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist on the Sega Mega Drive. The content walks players through the game's early stages, starting with the familiar New York sewers, Stage 1, described as an easy introduction perfect for learning the ropes and utilizing items like health-restoring pizza. It then transitions to above-ground city streets and underground subway areas within the same stage. The page highlights typical enemies encountered, such as foot soldier robots, sudden manhole ambushes, and enemies popping from water. The first boss, Leatherhead, is introduced, with advice on his movement and knife attacks. The guide moves on to Stage 2, which features a unique high-speed surfing section before leading to a ship level. This stage introduces new environmental hazards, like rolling barrels and falling rocks, alongside different enemies. The boss of Stage 2, Tokeka, is described, noting his aggressive attack pattern and the strategy required to defeat him by attacking during openings and pursuing him after he retreats. A small column compares this Mega Drive title to the Super Famicom version, likely Turtles in Time, praising the Hyperstone Heist as an original story with excellent balance, crediting Konami's development effort. Overall page summary. A detailed walkthrough of the first 2 stages of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, covering environments, common enemies, bosses, and gameplay tips. The next page continues the deep dive into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, moving into the latter half of the games. Stage 3 is set in a Japanese garden hideout, featuring battles against samurai foot soldiers in unique environments, leading to a boss fight against Slash, humorously described as a black scorched turtle. Stage 4 is a challenging boss counterattack stage, where powered-up versions of previous bosses like Leatherhead and Rocksteady return, culminating in a battle against a new robotic boss, likely Krang. Stage 5 is the final decisive battle at the Technodrome, an industrial labyrinth with complex layouts, including a tough elevator sequence, leading up to the final confrontation with Shredder. The page highlights the increasing difficulty and impressive graphics of these stages. A concluding message from Konami confirms the game's release date for December 22 in Japan. This page shifts focus entirely to Landstalker: The Treasures of King Noel. It presents a special appendix, a simple and convenient guide for getting to the underground dungeons. The artwork features the protagonist, Nigel, sword drawn, facing off against classic enemies like a skeleton and a cyclops on floating islands, along with the game's distinctive logo. The text acknowledges the game's recent release and the challenges players might face, offering this map-based guide to help navigate from R-Bypass onwards. Details about the game are listed, including Sega as the developer, its genre as an action RPG, and its price and memory size. Below, a map of Mercator Island is shown, labeled with numbered locations. These locations include villages like Masan, Gumi, Verla, and Distel, significant spots like Asgiral's Shrine and the Marshland Shrine, the port town of Zier Bypass, Mercator Castle Town, Mears Tower, and the Lake Shrine. The accompanying text briefly outlines the early game progression, starting after acquiring the Sunstone, heading to Sar Bypass, sailing to Verla, and then navigating through areas like the Dwarf Cave, Lake Shrine, mountain regions, and Mountaintop Cave, in the quest for Noel's treasure. A small image at the bottom shows Nigel and Friday in a challenging lava area. This page dives into a special appendix for Landstalker, focusing on the quest to rescue the residents of Verla from the vertical hole, which turns out to be an old mine. After repairing the lighthouse and sailing to Verla, you find the town largely deserted, save for a priest and an old man, and are immediately attacked by guard knights. You learn the missing villagers were taken to the mountains. The guide shifts focus to the Verla vertical hole itself, described as a complex and challenging dungeon, far more difficult than earlier areas. It's filled with strong monsters like guard knights, laugh-lips, eyes, and mushrooms that can deal heavy damage. The guide stresses the importance of using Dahl's secret medicine when needed, as relying only on the fruit of life won't be enough. The primary strategy recommended is thorough exploration. Take your time, check every room for items, and avoid rushing, especially past hazards like the timing-based iron balls. You'll also encounter environmental puzzles like stacking pots to reach new areas. Be sure to look for hidden treasures in unexpected places. This page continues the guide to Landstalker, focusing on the challenging Verla vertical hole dungeon. It features an isometric map showing the layout of the area, marked with letters A through L, giving players a visual guide to navigate its complex structure. The guide emphasizes that the monsters here are significantly tougher and more numerous than previous areas, stating that standard combat approaches won't work and rushing is ill-advised. The recommended strategy is to lure and defeat monsters one by one, using walls for tactical advantage and focusing on avoiding damage. A section specifically highlights an encounter with 3 guard knights, noting they all share the same attack patterns and strength. Another key piece of advice is to always remember the location of the dungeon's entrance/exit, as leaving is crucial when recovery items dwindle. The map includes distinctive eye-shaped marks indicating important points like branching paths and ladders. Screenshots show combat inside the dungeon and the entrance to the vertical hole itself, reinforcing the visual navigation aids provided by the map. The content underscores that this dungeon is a major difficulty spike, requiring careful planning and execution. This page continues the Landstalker guide, picking up the trail of Duke Mercator after leaving Distel village. The guide explains the player follows the Duke to a lake, where he is found on a surprisingly luxurious raft, heading towards a shrine, prompting the player to pursue him into the Dwarf's Cave instead. The page highlights the entrance to the Dwarf's Cave, which is sealed until the Duke has been there. Inside, while not overly complex, the cave features tricky platforming challenges, specifically mentioning the difficulty of timing jumps onto moving rafts. Screenshots show the journey to Distel, the Duke on his raft on the lake, gameplay inside the cave showcasing the moving platforms, and the cave entrance. The guide also details a specific trap involving 4 holes and 3 boxes, explaining that you need to defeat the enemies, find a hidden switch in one of the holes, and then place the boxes and Lyle strategically to proceed. It emphasizes careful timing and positioning for successful navigation. This page delves deeper into Distel's cave from Landstalker, providing a structural breakdown of the dungeon with a map showing interconnected sections labeled a through E. The page features details on the boss waiting at the end of the cave, named Quake. This large monster wields a big hammer and is described as a dirty wild man. His stats are listed as HP 80, Attack 12, and Defense 15. His main attack is causing an earthquake with his hammer, which binds the player. Other than this, he is said to have no particular features. Defeating him rewards the player with 100 gold. While it's noted that you can technically proceed without defeating Quake, doing so means missing out on important equipment, so it's recommended to beat him. The strategy involves using the elevation differences in the arena to corner him and attack relentlessly without giving him a chance to counter. His earthquake attack is tricky as it prevents movement, so the advice is simply to keep swinging your sword. The text reinforces that Quake's earthquake focus makes fancy footwork almost impossible. Having the Golden Goddess item is mentioned as making the fight easier. Screenshots show combat with Quake and highlight obtaining the Healing Boots item, suggesting this is the important equipment gained from this area or defeating the boss. This page shifts focus to the Lake Shrine. The challenging area you enter after navigating Distel's cave in Landstalker is described as far more complex than previous dungeons, filled with frustrating traps and tough enemies, urging players to stock up on healing items and utilize the dwarf shop before entering. The ultimate goal is to confront Duke Mercator, whose encounter is deemed the objective of this hellish dungeon. Tips for tackling the shrine include clearing it room by room and using the temporary save point provided inside as a base. Patience is key when dealing with the various traps. Several examples of these are shown, including navigating using moving blocks, telos, pushing objects onto switches, and utilizing terrain changes, with advice on the safest methods. The guide then details the boss, Duke Mercator, listing his stats and describing his fencing-like attack style. He is said to be relatively easy to defeat by baiting his thrusts and counterattacking. However, a significant event occurs after the fight. Zed appears, and Lyle is affected by a blinding light, leading to important developments for the story. The bottom of the page includes a map section showing the layout of the first floor of the dungeon. This page provides a comprehensive visual guide to the challenging lower levels of the Lake Shrine dungeon in Landstalker, the Treasures of King Noble. Following on from the first floor discussed previously, these detailed isometric maps showcase the layouts of the "1B", "2B", and "3B" floors, likely basement 1, 2, and 3 respectively. The intricate diagrams reveal the room configurations, including various puzzles and obstacles you'll encounter, such as pits, platforms, and environmental features. These maps are essential for navigating the complex architecture of the dungeon, helping players visualize the paths and potential traps mentioned in the earlier guide sections. They offer a crucial overview to help players plan their routes through these tough subterranean areas of the Lake Shrine. This page moves on from the previous dungeon focus to guide players toward the mountain area in Landstalker. It opens by explaining that Mir saved Lyle and granted him a key ability, which is the power to cut down certain trees. This ability is essential for progression. Before heading directly to the mountain area, the page notes you might return to Mercator Castle, highlighting the fun to be had at Duke Mercator's casino, detailing the various games like roulette and the chicken race. The guide then directs players to head towards the mountain area via the green maze, specifically noting the necessity of using the newfound tree-cutting ability to clear paths. The mountain area itself is described as somewhat complex, though perhaps less so than the green maze, with a focus on finding treasure chests and battling monsters. Navigation is a challenge, with warnings about frequent dead ends and treacherous bridges where falling can set you back. The ultimate goal in this challenging region is the confrontation with Sazol, who arrives by air. The page also points out the vital recovery points provided by goddesses' statues found within the area. This page focuses on the mountain area in Landstalker, providing an isometric map detailing its various sections. The highlight is the confrontation with the boss, Zol, whose stats are listed: HP 220, Attack 15, Defense 13. The guide explains that Zol, a bounty hunter, awaits players on a platform, and speaking to him initiates the final battle. Players are advised to prepare fully before engaging. Zol primarily attacks with aerial kicks and punches, targeting Lyle's head. The strategy involves evading his flying attacks by constantly moving and striking back when he lands on the ground. Staying mobile is crucial to avoid his dive bomb and potential boomerang. Defeating Zol yields the key item, Gora's Eye, which is necessary to reach the Duke's location, and the text notes that Zol isn't truly a bad guy after the fight. This page continues the Landstalker adventure, focusing on the Summit Cave. After defeating Solozol and obtaining Gobora's Eye, using it at the goddess statue in the mountain area warps you to this familiar location. It's revealed to be the very first dungeon Lyle explored upon arriving on Mercator Island. However, things are drastically different this time. While the layout feels familiar, the cave is now overrun with powerful enemies. Unlike the relatively empty first visit, doors that were previously locked are now open, signaling a path forward, but also hinting at what lies ahead. The hole that Lyle was chased into by the giant iron ball is now sealed by it, suggesting a change in the dungeon's mechanics or purpose. Following the newly opened path leads directly to Duke Mercator. It's discovered that Princess Rylete has been brought here, and the Duke, having successfully gathered all 5 jewels, is preparing for something climactic. The narrative indicates the story is reaching its final stages. The Duke dramatically opens a path to the treasure before warping away, leaving Lyle to confront the next challenge. This section includes screenshots depicting the new, tougher enemies, and the confrontation with Duke Mercator. A large diagram provides an isometric map of the Summit Cave's various, interconnected sections. This page delves into a fascinating side quest in Landstalker, independent of the main storyline concerning Duke Mercator and the jewels. Obtaining the dog whistle in Green Maze allows Lyle to finally converse with the canine inhabitants of Mercator. In Masan Village, one particular dog reveals a tragic tale. She was once human, cursed by the wicked witch Mizari residing east of Mercator. Her lover suffered the same fate, now a pet. Driven by her plight and a desire to help, Lyle sets out to confront Mizari. The page shows instances of talking to the dog, highlighting the difference between not understanding her and understanding her once the whistle is obtained. Upon reaching Mizari's house, Lyle is instantly transformed into a dog himself. With the entrance sealed, the only way forward is to pursue the witch into her underground lair, Mizari's cave, depicted here with an isometric map showing its various sections. Players must navigate its traps and challenges to reach Mizari, aiming to break the curse on the dog, her lover, and now Lyle himself. The quest involves solving puzzles, such as combining spheres to cross obstacles, eventually leading to finding key items, like the Saturn stone. This page focuses on a substantial and memorable subquest, detailed as a guide for players. Overall page summary. This page details a significant Landstalker subquest, where Lyle must defeat a witch to break curses that turn people into dogs. This page continues the exploration of Landstalker, detailing another side quest available to Lyle. Following the main objective to find Mir and obtain the axe magic, players are encouraged to visit the Masan village again. If you recall, the large tree there, using the newly acquired axe magic on it, reveals the entrance to a hidden dungeon, the Cave of the Masan tribe. This cave is described as a source for valuable equipment and items. While its layout and puzzles aren't overly complex compared to other dungeons, the primary challenge lies in its verticality, requiring repeated trips up and down multiple small floors. The page provides an isometric map illustrating the multi-layered structure. Progress often involves simple tasks, like pushing blocks onto switches to reveal the path forward, an action you'll perform several times. Despite the repetitive nature of the vertical movement, the enemies aren't overwhelming, and falling iron ball traps are avoidable with care. Completing this quest ultimately rewards Lyle with the Flameguard armor. It's presented as a worthwhile detour for useful gear. Overall page summary. This Landstalker guide details the optional Cave of the Masan Tribe dungeon, accessible after obtaining the axe magic, focusing on its vertical layout, switch puzzles, and the reward of the Flameguard. The next page delves into the crucial world of weapons, armor, and items in Landstalker, highlighting the vast array available beyond what you start with. While you can't sell items, the sheer variety means mastering their use is key to success. This guide breaks down different types of equipment. You'll find various swords like the starting broadsword, plus elemental blades such as the Ifrit sword for fire damage, the Gaia sword which causes earthquakes, the lightning sword, and the ice sword, each offering unique magical abilities to use in combat or puzzle solving. Protective gear includes several breastplates providing increased defense, starting with the basic leather breast and upgrading to the steel, chrome, shell, and eventually the powerful Aegis breast. The boots offer different benefits. Alongside the standard leather boots, you'll find the healing boots that restore HP as you walk, the snow boots essential for traversing icy terrain, the iron boots for walking on spiked floors, and the flame boots, which as we saw on the previous page, protect against heat. Finally, a variety of rings offer passive or active effects. The Mars Stone grants poison and paralysis immunity, useful against specific enemies. And the Moonstone protects against illusions and curses. The Saturn Stone speeds up magic charging, while the Venus Stone charges magic even faster, making it highly desirable for endgame progression. Mastering which item to equip for each situation is vital for any adventurer in this world. In Landstalker, survival and progression hinge on a variety of items beyond weapons and armor. Crucial recovery items include heart containers for HP, herbs for poison and paralysis, and the herb of life for multiple ailments. The Eek Nut provides a vital revive, while Dahl's secret medicine fully restores health. Navigation and progression require items like the dungeon key, town map, permit, and merchant license. The life bell alerts you to heart containers. Utility items include Gaia and gold goddess statues for area damage and magic restoration. Status healing books and special quest-related items like the Stone of Evil and Sunstone are also essential. Finally, collection and puzzle items, such as Gora's Tablet, the Eye of Gora, and jewels, are vital for uncovering the island's secrets. The diary and guest book facilitate game saves. Mastery of these items is key to success. This Landstalker guide page details the monsters of Mercator Island. Monsters are universally hostile, initiating combat immediately. The monster list overview covers non-boss enemies. Emphasizing color variations signify strength differences. Several monster types are described. Slimes, basic enemies. Rafflips, poisonous mushroom enemies. Orc soldiers, axe-wielding foes. Larvae, underground worms. Mono-eyes, club-wielding cyclops. Grogoop, enemies from soul lakes requiring lake destruction. Chaos visitors, vulnerable mummies. Man-eaters, treasure chest imposters. And skeletons, quick-thrusting bone creatures. Each monster entry includes an illustration and a table with stats. HP, attack, defense, gold, and item drops like eek nuts, herbs, and statues. The guide provides strategic insights on each monster's behavior and weaknesses to aid players in combat. This article details several enemies in Landstalker, providing strategic tips and illustrations for defeating them. Key foes include the magic-using Silent Commander, vulnerable Lizardmen, cornerable Guard Knights, and the unpredictable Monotrooper. The Hangman and Wandering Ghost are vanishing magic users, while the Soul Slake spawns other enemies and has invincible versions. The Mighty Talos transforms from statue to active foe, with a golden invincible variant. Each entry includes stat tables and potential item drops. In addition, there's exciting news for fans. The Landstalker original soundtrack CD is coming to Victor Entertainment, featuring all 26 game tracks, arranged and remixed by composer Motokazu Sakuraba. The CD promises fresh elements like synth and guitar. The soundtrack will be released on December 16th for 2,500 yen and includes a bonus title logo sticker. This page covers the highly addictive puzzle game Puyo Puyo, describing it as causing a nationwide Puyo Puyo epidemic among players. It highlights the game's origins, explaining it evolved from Compile's popular PC 98 3D dungeon RPG, Sorcery Saga. While Arle Naja is the protagonist of Sorcery Saga, and Carbuncle is her companion, the article notes the surprise of these characters transitioning to a puzzle game, a testament to their charm. It features illustrations of Arle, Carbuncles, and other characters like Satan, alongside a small comic strip. The page also includes a section teaching basic Puyo Puyo techniques, specifically how to build chains by strategically stacking Puyo vertically, and inserting other colors to create reactions when the primary color connects. The Mega Drive version is noted, with mentions of video game console and Game Gear versions also coming soon. This page features the action platformer World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. It highlights the game's cinematic opening and engaging gameplay, noting it was the first time Mickey and Donald starred together in a game like this. The article praises the user-friendly design, accessible even for younger players, while emphasizing the smooth character animation and the unique two-player co-op mode. Players can choose Mickey or Donald in single-player, or team up together, using their special magic abilities and signature handkerchief attacks. The game's save system is presented as a fun, card-flipping construction screen, where passwords are also themed as playing cards. The developers express their goal of bringing joy to children globally with these beloved characters and the two-player experience. This page continues the coverage of World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, diving deeper into its unique features. It emphasizes the game's cooperative two-player mode, highlighting how the distinct personalities and abilities of Mickey and Donald create fun and interesting interactions. The screenshots showcase various co-op mechanics, such as carrying each other, pulling ropes, and helping a partner who's gotten stuck, demonstrating how teamwork is essential. The article also previews the diverse environments players will explore, from mystical forests and vibrant underwater levels to cloudy skies and eerie spiderwebs, noting that some stages are exclusive to the two-player experience. Finally, the page touches upon the boss battles, confirming that Mickey and Donald will utilize their signature handkerchief attack to overcome various foes, including giant spiders and ant armies. The visuals appear fantastic, fitting the game's magical theme. This page features Junkers High, a tough racing game developed by Sims for the Mega Drive, aimed at speed enthusiasts. While compared to Outrun, the article states Junkers High doesn't demand overly technical maneuvers. Instead, its charm lies in high speed, sometimes reckless driving, where hitting obstacles doesn't necessarily stop you completely. A key feature highlighted is the significant elevation changes within the courses, with some paths leading high above the ground like in a city environment. Screenshots show the game's first-person perspective from the cockpit, displaying impressive speeds reaching over 340 km per hour, a power gauge, and a shift indicator. The text explains that activating the turbo engine allows for incredible speed, making the car nearly unstoppable and less affected by obstacles. The page also delves into specific driving tactics, illustrating moments on elevated roads and discussing how crashing or spinning out can impact your progress, emphasizing the thrill and challenge of recovering and continuing the race. It concludes by suggesting that mastering the game's tough driving style is key to becoming a hard driver. This page continues the breakdown of Junkers High, focusing on the highlights and recommended routes across its stages. Stage 1 serves as the training ground, featuring simple route splits and jumps. It's designed for players to build speed, with few routes making it easy to navigate. Recommended routes here are 2 through 4. Stage 2 ups the ante with more obstacles and curves. The suggested routes are 3 and 4, or potentially 5, with Route 3 being highlighted as somewhat harder due to numerous curves that require careful handling. Stage 3 introduces more routes, totaling 9, but doesn't significantly increase the difficulty. Recommended paths are 2, 4, 5, 7, or 8. Route 2 is noted for its crane-like obstacles. Route 4 features a rock on a jump platform, and Route 8 includes parallel roads. The main event is Stage 4, boasting a massive 10 routes. Recommended routes include 2, 4, 7, 9, and 10. Highlights are Route 2's striking graphics and crossroad, Route 4's jump to an upper path, Route 7's challenging tunnel and jump sequence, Route 9's road obstacles, and Route 10's chaotic junction. The developers mentioned that making the game was a challenge, focusing on finding hidden routes and traps to clear and improve time. This page kicks off the 4th Annual Mega Drive Academy Awards. Covering the period from November 1991 to November 1992, this is the big event where you, the players, get to vote for the best games released on the system. This year, the awards have expanded and been reorganized into a massive 19 categories, reflecting the growth of the Mega Drive library with the arrival of the Mega CD and more developers entering the scene. The page outlines some of the key award categories and shows off the previous year's winners to give you an idea of the competition. For example, Sonic the Hedgehog swept the awards in '91, taking home both the overall Best Game and Best Art awards. Musha Aleste won the Shooting Game Award. Shining in the Darkness was the top RPG. And Streets of Rage snagged one of the other genre awards alongside WrestleBall. They're calling for votes in each category, emphasizing that your single vote is what decides the winners. With the eligible period now including Mega CD titles and even international releases, this year's contest is shaping up to be a serious battle of the best. This pre-awards article previews the 4th Annual Mega Drive Academy Awards, focusing on the previous year's winners as a guide. Award categories include Best Direction, incorporating special effects, Best Actor/Actress, Best Boss, Best Minor Enemy, Best Port, Best Item, Weapon/Armor combined, Best Third-Party Game, and Best Package Design. A new category, Sensational Topics, replaces the Bubble Award. 1991 winners included Sonic in several categories, Drive, Eggman for Best Boss, The Ooze for Best Minor Enemy, and Outrun for Best Port. Warsong won Best Third-Party Game, and the Mega CD launch was a top topic. The article highlights 103 nominated titles released between November 1991 and November 1992, a significant increase from the previous year. It also provides a partial list of nominees and emphasizes the importance of using correct entry numbers for voting. This page continues the coverage of the 4th Annual Mega Drive Academy Awards. It presents the comprehensive list of all 103 nominated titles released between November 1991 and November 1992 that are eligible for voting. The page also serves as the voting form itself, listing the award categories, which include the Best Picture Award, Best Shooting Game, Best Action Game, Best RPG, Best Simulation Game, Best Other Genre Game, Best Scenario Award, Best Music Award, Best Direction Award, Best Art Award, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Boss Award, Best Minor Enemy Award, Best Item Award, Best Port Award, Best Third Party Award, Best Packaging Award, and the new Sensational Topics Award. Readers are instructed on how to vote, emphasizing the need to cut out and attach the participation ticket found at the bottom of the page. Voting is open to all, with prizes including Mega CD consoles, game software, and Beep Mega Drive phone cards for lucky participants. The deadline for submissions is November 20th, with results to be announced in the February issue. This page celebrates the release of the action RPG Landstalker, The Treasures of King Noel, with a special feature on the development team's wrap-up trip to Izu Atagawa. Following the completion of the game, the staff journeyed to the hot spring resort for a well-deserved break. They enjoyed hot springs, including a jungle bath, followed by a grand banquet featuring seafood and karaoke. The next day, they visited a biopark, taking advantage of the empty park despite bad weather to ride ATVs. The page also includes a comic strip featuring Landstalker characters by Tamaoro and covers a separate completion party held after the game was finished, where staff and numerous guests gathered for food and drinks. Photos show the group enjoying the banquet, riding ATVs, and includes a picture of Tomoko Mori, known for Yuk Yuk Naitokun, and Mochi. This page features profiles of some of the creative minds behind games like Landstalker and Shining Force. It includes staff members Yoshitaka Tamaoki and Nobuya Nishigaki, highlighting their contributions to these titles and other projects. The page also contains the fourth part of a serial novel by Yoshiki Tagawa, titled Spaceship Story, continuing a narrative separate from the game features. A significant portion is dedicated to Landstalker, The Treasures of King Noel, offering Lesson 1, the correct way to play Landstalker. This guide provides tips on enjoying the game, such as strategic purchases, throw buying, relieving stress by breaking pots, and other unique gameplay interactions, accompanied by relevant screenshots showcasing the isometric view and various game elements. Additionally, there is an extra edition production report, presented frame by frame with photos, possibly a humorous look at a key developer, referred to as the Ohori Master, celebrating the game's completion with a symbolic act like cutting hair and recounting a transformative experience. This page shifts gears dramatically from the RPGs of the previous page, focusing on RC car racing events. The main feature covers the RC Tamiya F1 Grand Prix, specifically the fourth race held in Uchiyama under rainy conditions. It highlights Naoto Naifuji's participation, despite lack of sleep, navigating the difficult course. There's also an article detailing a Tamiya on-road endurance race championship, where they tackle their first challenge using the new Tamiya BMW M3. This section mentions drivers like Naifuji, Satake, and Tanaka, describing troubles during the race but overall enjoyment. Supplementary sections include illustrations or manga panels, possibly contributions or staff commentary, some featuring characters in a humorous style. Finally, there's a recruitment section for the Climax fan club, briefly outlining how to apply to receive membership information. The page captures a different aspect of the magazine's coverage, showing staff involvement in hobbies beyond just video games. This page features a developer's corner titled Magazine Jack. Mega Drive third party, do whatever you want, giving development studios space to talk directly to readers. Konami celebrates their entry into the Mega Drive market, expressing gratitude to their dedicated fans whose support made this possible. They provide a status report on their first Mega Drive title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, known as Return of the Shredder in Japan. The game is reported to be nearing completion, undergoing final adjustments. They invite readers to send feedback and game ideas, offering a special gift for submissions. An illustration of a Ninja Turtle is included. The Game Arts section is presented as a business diary. The entries touch upon submitting their diary entries to the magazine and their interactions with the editor, including disappointment when told their submission wouldn't be featured, followed by relief when a request for a later issue arrived. There are reflections on game graphics and realism, inspired by encountering police figurines during night drives. The diary also includes a humorous anecdote about a driving mishap and a slightly extended deadline. Illustrations show tired development staff and the aforementioned police figurines. This page features a developer's corner continuing from the previous issue. The first section is from Microcabin, detailing their upcoming cyberpunk RPG, Illusion City, which is coming to the Mega CD. The game is set in a near-future Hong Kong that is recovering 20 years after a catastrophic event. Dangerous areas remain where monsters exist, separating the city into isolated upper and lower regions. The content highlights the game's atmosphere and the characters, including the protagonist Tianlen and the police officer Meifan, who fight against the darkness. The Mega CD version will include new opening visuals and additional monsters. An illustration shows two characters on a motorcycle. The second section is a Strange Night diary from a publicity representative at Victor Musical Industries, detailing a day involving the recording sessions for the music CD of Landstalker, The Treasures of King Knoll. The recording took place in Tokyo, with the composer Motoharu Yoshi present, noting a tense atmosphere during the session. Visitors from Beep magazine were also present. The diary humorously recounts a night out drinking after the recording, searching for a specific bar, and ending up in Shibuya. It touches upon a funny taxi conversation and a video exchange with the magazine staff. An image of the Landstalker music CD cover is shown, along with its price and release date, December 16th. This page features Jam Ojisan's column, where he discusses the state of the TV game market, focusing on the Sega Mega Drive. The column highlights the recent entry of Konami into the Mega Drive market, viewing it as a significant development that could help revitalize the platform, especially given the Genesis's strong performance in the US against the Super Famicom. The author expresses hope that more large third-party developers will follow Konami's lead and potentially flood the market with major titles by the next holiday season, making the Mega Drive a more attractive platform for consumers. A screenshot of Konami's first Mega Drive title, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is shown. However, the column also laments the current lack of adventurous, experimental games from third parties, noting a tendency towards multi-platform releases that don't differentiate the Mega Drive. A critical point is the urgent need for strong RPGs to compete with Nintendo's dominance in that genre, particularly Dragon Quest in Japan. Jam Ojisan reflects on the depth of Dragon Quest V and notes the difficulty for developers under typical development pressure to create comparable titles, despite the clear market need. Anticipated titles from Sega that could challenge Nintendo are featured, including the isometric RPG Landstalker, The Treasures of King Knoll, praised for its compelling scenario, and the globally anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The column is changing format, and the bottom section serves as a call for readers to submit questions for Jam Ojisan to answer in future issues. This page features Eric C. Sedensky's column titled Experience Log, Nail-Biting Game, specifically focusing on his hobby. In this entry, titled, X6 is my house Vegas, or in front of the station? What? Eric discusses his current interest in pachinko. He reveals that despite not frequenting parlors recently, he's been immersed in the hobby at home, largely thanks to the Super Famicom game, Pachinko Wars. He finds the game incredibly enjoyable, noting that it allows players to learn the mechanics of hitting the nails to get balls out easily, making winning straightforward and more fun than actual parlors, where losing real money is a risk. He highlights the game's realistic ball physics and nail configurations, comparing the gameplay depth to real pachinko, and even finding parallels with casino games. He expresses a desire for more gambling-themed games to be released. The page also includes stylized artwork related to pachinko, and a brief section detailing the history of pachinko in Japan. This page features the Sega Falcom Communication Act 14 column, with the English motto, Knowledge which is felt to be boring is of little use, but knowledge which is assimilated eagerly. The page is divided into several sections, including a reader mailbag titled SF Hotline, a call for reader input on upcoming games, and a personal column by Sega Falcom director Kazutaka Yano. The SF Hotline showcases letters from fans, touching upon topics like Sonic characters, anticipation for new releases, and satisfaction with the quality of Sega Falcom's games. Readers express eagerness and are saving up for future titles. The section is a direct appeal to the readers for their ideas. Sega Falcom is looking for suggestions regarding which of the 5 recently announced titles they would like to see ported or remade, and in what way. The bottom section features a column by Sega Falcom director Kazutaka Yano, accompanied by his photo. Titled, Ruthless Industry Punchline 7 Inches, he begins by discussing his diet plan, aiming to lose weight by following his own Yano-style diet rules. He mentions his current weight and target. The column then shifts focus, comparing the competitive dynamics in Fly One racing, referencing teams like McLaren and Williams, and drivers such as Senna and Mansell, with aspects of Japanese baseball, offering a personal perspective on sportsmanship or industry behavior. This page dives into a quirky concept game called Puchi Puchi Tsubushi, or Bubble Wrap Crushing. The author, inspired by the gag-heavy Switch serial feature running in the magazine, shown in the 4-panel comic strip, imagines a game where you actually pop various things on screen. This includes bizarre surfaces, like ones covered in anatomical parts, eggs that yield different results when popped, screaming human faces that splatter, and even intangible concepts represented by kanji like love and dream. It's a wild, hypothetical concept, musing on whether such a strange premise could actually be fun. Below, there's an update on the actual Switch game's development status, acknowledging it's a bit behind schedule, but the graphics are mostly finished, with programming being the current focus. The graphics for a new version of GigaWorld are expected in December, so keep an eye out for that. Rounding out the page are contributions from Waha Hanpo, mentioned as collaborators on the Switch content. Comedian Masahiro Sato shares a brief anecdote about a peculiar game called The Baseball Punch, where winning at rock paper scissors leads to a female character disrobing. Finally, the Waha Hanpo communication section announces their upcoming stage performances in Tokyo in late December, detailing the show and the performers involved, including Sato himself. This page is a large advertisement for GameBank, promoting mail-order game sales for systems like Super Famicom and PC Engine, listing various titles and prices, and announcing a new store opening in Maebashi. This page declares that the Mega Drive is finally getting interesting, highlighting the arrival of anticipated software like the highly anticipated Streets of Rage 2. The page is essentially a large sales flyer from GameBank, featuring various price lists and special offers. You can find sections for new Mega Drive software releases with their prices, a low stock corner, and a super cheap corner offering bargains on older titles. They also list the Mega Drive console for 11,800 yen, the Mega CD for 28,800 yen, and the Game Gear for 12,800 yen. There's a special section listing games like Columns, Battlemania, and Assault Suits Lanos across various systems, all available for a flat rate of 1,800 yen. Finally, a prominent section advertises a telephone information service providing game details and possibly a contest. This page is the instruction guide for the magazine's reader survey postcard, titled, How to Fill Out the Survey Postcard 123. It details how readers can provide feedback and answer questions about their preferences and habits. The guide explains how to write general comments to the editorial department, including suggestions for games they'd like to see ported to the Mega Drive, and overall impressions of the magazine. It also shows how to mark answers on the survey sheet by filling in the corresponding circles for each question, noting specific instructions for questions marked with an asterisk. The survey covers various topics: demographics like gender, age, and occupation, gaming habits such as the number of Mega Drive games owned and which gaming magazines they read frequently, listing titles like Famitsu Tsushin, V-Jump, and Beep Mega Drive Fan. It asks readers to rank the importance of video games to them and list which consoles they own. A significant part is dedicated to asking which game readers want to buy next from a massive numbered list of titles. This list features over 100 games, predominantly Mega Drive titles from the era, including popular choices like Streets of Rage 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Phantasy Star IV, Langrisser 2, and Shining Force 2, providing valuable insight into reader demand for upcoming and recent releases. It's a direct way for the magazine to gauge interest and tailor future content. The next page is a special feature dedicated to the return of Sega's flagship character in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. A little over a year after the original Sonic, the Hedgehog burst onto the scene in July 1991, setting records with its speed and establishing Sonic as a worldwide phenomenon and a symbol for Sega alongside Mario. The supersonic legend is back. The article discusses the first game's immense popularity in Japan and overseas, and its significant role in the market competition. It then looks ahead to the worldwide release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on November 21st, posing the question of whether it can surpass the original and once again ignite a global boom. A highlight of the feature is the involvement of Masahito Nakamura of the famous band Dreams Come True, who provided the music for the game, aiming to enhance the speed and thrill. The page is filled with screenshots showcasing the gameplay of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and various versions of the game's logo. This page provides a detailed look at the initial zones and challenges in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It covers the first 3 zones: Emerald Hill Zone, a vibrant tropical area reminiscent of the first game's Green Hill, known for its exciting loops and corkscrews; Chemical Plant Zone, Drive, Robotnik's industrial complex featuring pipes, high-speed slopes, and a notorious section where the area fills with hazardous liquid; and Aquatic Ruin Zone, a lush, ancient ruin with complex underwater segments and dangerous pillar traps. The page highlights some of the badnik enemies encountered in these zones, such as crabmeat, grabber, chop, coconuts, grounder, flamer, and Astron/Rexon. It also showcases boss encounters, including Drive Robotnik's machine in Emerald Hill and the pillar-based boss in Aquatic Ruin, noting its attack patterns. A brief story summary introduces Tails, explaining his appearance and how he teams up with Sonic on the island, leading into Drive Robotnik's return in search of the Chaos Emeralds. The feature gives readers a good overview of the early gameplay mechanics and narrative setup for Sonic's latest adventure. This page dives into Zone 4, Casino Night, showcasing the vibrant, high-energy pinball and slot machine-themed level. This zone acts as a giant amusement center, where Sonic himself becomes the pinball. The page highlights the unique mechanics of using flippers to launch Sonic and the various slot machine opportunities to win rings, emphasizing the jackpot potential. It also touches on the enemies, noting that while not numerous, some require careful handling, especially those that can poke or trap Sonic. The page also features a profile for Sonic's new sidekick, Miles Tails Prower. Described as Sonic's strong, lovable partner, the profile provides details like his gender, male, age 8, and origin, unknown. It explains that his two tails initially led to bullying, but meeting Sonic changed his personality. Tails strives to be like Sonic, possessing great abilities, particularly in mechanics and flight, which sets him apart. His profile lists his 좋아하는 likes as machines, fast ones, Christmas, and candy, peppermint candy. The screenshots show Tails flying and in a relaxed pose, underscoring his capabilities and charm. The next page takes us to Zone 5, the Hilltop Zone. This level provides a stunning contrast with its dense coniferous forests, high in the mountains, juxtaposed against scorching lava traps. The layout features elements reminiscent of Emerald Hill Zone, but introduces new challenges like walls emerging from clouds in the distance, and terrain that moves unexpectedly, making it quite tricky. It highlights the dynamic duo, Sonic and Tails, showcasing them working together through the level's various hazards, including seesaws that launch them. The page also notes the return of familiar elements from the first game, like the acceleration tubes found in Chemical Plant Zone, adding a touch of nostalgia. A major focus is the presence of rising lava, forcing players to rely on precarious floating platforms to progress. This leads into the zone's boss battle against Drive Robotnik's third machine, the Metamorphosis. Described as reinforced to withstand the lava, Robotnik's contraption attacks with fire and napalm. Playing in two-player mode, with Tails assisting, is presented as particularly fun for navigating this challenging encounter. Finally, the page celebrates the global phenomenon of Sonic the Hedgehog, detailing its worldwide impact since release. It references the famous Sonic vs. Mario comparison commercials aired in the US, mentions Sega Sonic arcade attractions, highlights an overseasonally music CD release, Supersonic Dance Attack, and points out the widespread high praise for Sonic in international gaming magazines, often featured in large special editions. This page takes us deeper into Sonic the Hedgehog 2, specifically Zone 6, the Mystic Cave Zone. This ancient cavern is filled with peril, featuring crumbling floors that disappear as you step on them, unexpected spikes, and other devious traps requiring constant vigilance. A new interactive element highlighted here is the Vine Switch, which Sonic can swing from to progress. The article points out the greatly increased variety in character movement patterns compared to the original game, showing off some of Sonic's aerial maneuvers. There's also a focus on Tails, noting how he can sometimes struggle with the level's traps, but is also endearingly cute. Be cautious of falling rocks in this zone, a prominent hazard. Finally, the page announces the Legend of Planet Mega Sega World event, scheduled for December 6th at Ryogoku Kokugi-kan, promising new game experiences and special guests. Details are provided on how to enter a contest to win tickets to attend this event. This page moves on to Zone 7, the Oil Ocean Zone, which is described as being polluted by Dr. Eggman's schemes. The slippery platforms are noted as making standard movement difficult, and even hindering the super spin dash, adding to the challenge. It is also a unique mechanic involving wind rising from below, which you can use to ascend. The difficulty is definitely increasing here, with traps that can plunge you into the oily sea. Beyond the gameplay, the page features an interview with Yuji Naka, the developer of Sonic 1 and 2, who had temporarily returned from Sega of America. He expresses confidence, that the two-player mode was designed from the start to be enjoyable for everyone. He is highlighted as a key hitmaker for Sega, known for other titles like Phantasy Star. A section teases that the true essence of Sonic 2 lies in the zones yet to come, particularly when gathering all the Chaos Emeralds and witnessing Sonic's transformation. Finally, the page lists other Sonic-related projects Sega is promoting, including a national championship tournament to showcase the game's speed, tie-ups with J.League Soccer, Lotteria Fast Food, and Marui Department Store/Moan Card for various campaigns and events. This page delves into some of the core features that made Sonic 2 stand out. It focuses heavily on the special stages, describing them as intense 3D action within a tube. To enter these, you need to have 50 or more rings when you touch a save point, causing a ring portal to appear for a short time. The goal in these stages is to collect rings and dodge bombs to reach checkpoints and ultimately earn a Chaos Emerald. Fail to gather enough rings, and you'll be sent back empty-handed. The page also elaborates on the competitive two-player versus mode, which was briefly touched upon previously. It highlights that this mode tests overall skill across 4 different zones, including Emerald Hill, Mystic Cave, Casino Night, and even a special stage variant. Unique items like teleportation and damaging Eggman items are scattered throughout to shake things up. Victory isn't just about finishing first. It's determined by a combination of score, time taken, rings collected, and item boxes opened. Finally, the page points out a significant option setting, the ability to play solo as either Sonic or Tails. While the standard one-player mode features Tails following Sonic, the game offers the flexibility for players to experience the adventure controlling just one character if they prefer. This page showcases the explosion of Sonic the Hedgehog merchandise, available due to the game's massive popularity. Sega is clearly capitalizing on Sonic's success with a wide array of goods, including everything from high-end items like a Kokuyo desk and desk mat to everyday products like Asahi drinks and Sancherio stationery, featuring Sonic and other characters like Tails and Dr. Robotnik. Apparel such as pajamas, t-shirts, and shorts are also prominently featured, highlighting the character's reach beyond just gaming. The page also provides a fascinating look behind the scenes of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 commercial production, noting the significant investment and effort going into it, reflecting the game's importance. Images show crew members working on detailed sets, including camera rigs designed to achieve dynamic shots like those seen in the game's high-speed loops. Furthermore, Sega announced a unique promotion, a Sonic 2 cashback coupon campaign. This innovative marketing push offers players a chance to win original Sonic merchandise or receive a cashback reward by purchasing the game and potentially the console itself and mailing in proof of purchase. This campaign began in November and runs until January. A contact list is also provided, giving phone numbers for the various companies producing and selling these Sonic goods. This page kicks off the Mega CD press section, giving us an early look at upcoming titles for the system. The main feature is Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes, an RPG based on the popular manga and anime series. Development is ongoing, aiming for a fresh and interesting experience despite a delayed release. The page shows screenshots of the game's early stages set in Hong Kong, detailing the first steps of protagonists Yakumo and Pai as they arrive in the city, seeking out the mysterious Chen Ayali. It also highlights how Galing joins the party. Alongside the gameplay glimpse, there are striking illustrations depicting key characters and elements of the 3x3 Eyes backstory, hinting at the lore and mythology of the game. A list on the side teases other Mega CD titles like Afterburner 2i, Robo Alesti, Time Gal, and Road Blaster FX, which will be covered on later pages. This page continues the deep dive into Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes. It highlights how the addition of Wedling Gelling to the party changes interactions with townsfolk, offering new dialogue and perspectives. The article humorously points out an eccentric old man character whose attitude shifts dramatically depending on whether Chen and Strilling Willing are present, suggesting players compare the dialogue options. It then focuses on the search for Chen Ayali, detailing how the party discovers he disappeared after being spotted peeping, and that clues point towards Kowloon. The article speculates on the reasons behind his departure. A key plot point is revealed. The path to Kowloon is blocked due to construction on the Hong Kong Bridge, forcing the party to find an alternative route and potentially explore Kowloon earlier than expected. The page also includes a mini-guide to Hong Kong tourist spots relevant to the game's setting, such as Victoria Peak, Causeway Bay, Aberdeen, Ocean Park, and Simshatsui, describing the unique atmosphere of the city. There's even a small practical Cantonese lesson section titled, "Can You Speak Japanese?" The overall feel is one of a game that integrates its unique Hong Kong setting into the gameplay and narrative. This page delves further into Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes, focusing on the mysteries surrounding Kowloon and the elusive Kowloon cult. It seems the residents of Kowloon themselves don't know much about the cult, leading to various rumors. A key location highlighted is the Ghost Building, an eerie structure that locals fear. The article emphasizes that something significant is within this ghost building, and the player must find a way to infiltrate it. Once inside, a dungeon is revealed underground. This is where combat comes into play, introducing battles against various demons. 4 specific demons are detailed from the underground: the one-eyed demon, Shusa, a bird-like creature; the flame demon, a creature with flames; and Nelphus, a fish-like demon with sharp fins. The article also notes that the starting equipment for Yatu and Pei isn't great, hinting at the need to acquire better gear and money as you progress through the dangerous areas, like the Ghost Building dungeon. This page features a preview of Gambler Jiko Chushinya 2 on the Mega CD, a mahjong game based on the popular manga by Masayuki Katayama. It's presented as a sequel where you battle through the unique Tokyo Mahjong Land. You can choose to play as either Dorao or Toyota, familiar characters from the series. The article focuses on exploring this Mahjong land, highlighting different areas, like Tengoku World and the Pirates of Cabri attraction. In these locations, you'll face off against various quirky opponents in Mahjong matches. The game uses a tag battle system in certain modes, where you team up with a partner. The reviewer notes that while partners might not always be strong, you need to cover them effectively. Specific opponents like Black Zank, the mysterious old man, and the powerful aunt are introduced with their character portraits. The advice given is to pay attention to opponents' tendencies and discards, rather than relying solely on technique, especially in tag matches where protecting your partner is crucial. The page also showcases screenshots of the Mahjong gameplay and illustrations related to the game's characters and settings, noting the inclusion of cool animated demo scenes to enhance the experience. This page continues the preview of Gambler Jiko Chushinya 2 on the Mega CD, exploring more areas within the game's unique Tokyo Mahjong land. First up is the Xianku High School Memorial Hall, where you face the Tenorins, a lively trio of high school girls. Despite being beginners, they are aggressive opponents, and you need to watch out for their tricky high-value hands. Next, we visit It's a Poor World, a gathering spot for seasoned, down-their-luck mahjong players. Here you'll battle characters like the Poor Old Man and Nakajima Hako in tough tag matches. The reviewer advises paying close attention to their discards and tendencies, as their wins can be powerful. Finally, the Tengo World Stage presents a heated mahjong live show, featuring idol players Sean Squared and Clara, and the skilled Christine M. This section is described as a must-see with cute characters. While some opponents play risky and go for quick wins, Christine M's technique is noted as extraordinary, requiring careful play to avoid her devastating golden shot. The page is filled with character illustrations and screenshots, showcasing these distinct locations and opponents. This page continues the deep dive into the unique world of Gambler Jiko Chushinya 2 on Mega CD, highlighting the game's incredibly quirky and memorable characters. Thanks to the Mega CD's capabilities, these opponents come to life with expressive reactions and speech. We first encounter the Kaiju-san Theater, featuring monster characters like Karapan and Pagira. Despite being poor at standard mahjong calls like Reach, they make up for it with bizarre vocalizations and antics. Next is the Gage no Kitaro-inspired duo of Kitaro and his supportive father. This familiar-looking parent-child pair adds to the eccentricity, with Kitaro shouting a unique phrase when challenged. The page also introduces the elegant young lady, a refined opponent who handles tiles with grace, and the mischievous mahjong vampire, who can steal your tsumo winning ability if you reach, though the reviewer notes he's cute enough to forgive. Finally, the date mahjong mode is showcased. This mode shifts focus from the story to dating female characters in various locations around Tokyo while playing mahjong. You choose from 9 male protagonists and can attempt to charm one of 18 potential female partners. The mode includes profiles to help you select your date, and even warns about the particularly challenging gal character, whose games are described as a turning point in life. Gameplay involves dialogue choices to woo your partner between hands. This page dives into the high-octane world of Afterburner II on Mega CD. The classic arcade series is back on home consoles, building upon its legacy with updated graphics and features. The game incorporates polygon graphics, especially noticeable in the launch sequences, and the F-14 Tomcat model itself, aiming for a more realistic feel. The cockpit design has been refreshed, and the wider view makes spotting enemies easier. Gameplay retains the core thrill of tearing through the skies at high speed, focusing on intense dogfights, shooting down numerous enemy jets, and dodging incoming missiles and Vulcan fire. The goal is to push your skills to the limit and see how far you can get, constantly locking onto targets and unleashing your seemingly endless supply of missiles. Beyond the standard arcade mode, Afterburner II introduces two competitive modes. Time competition challenges you to destroy as many enemies as possible within a set time limit, perfect for competing against friends for high scores. Enemy competition shifts the goal to taking down a specific number of enemies as quickly as you can within a stage.
Mastering these modes requires speed and efficiency. This page features a special interview with Kelly Flock, the entertainment director at LucasArts, discussing the company's history and future in-game development, particularly focusing on their adventure titles for the Mega CD. The interview delves into how LucasArts, primarily known for film, started making games, tracing back to their collaboration with Atari on experimental projects. Flock highlights the evolution of their game design and the creation of the SCUM engine, a unique scripting system born from the development of Maniac Mansion, which allows for complex actions and animations. He confirms plans to bring several classic adventure titles to the Sega CD, including Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, and the original Monkey Island. He also mentions development on X-Wing, a space combat game similar to Wing Commander, noting its origins on IBM PC. The page includes a brief history of LucasArts Entertainment and showcases key adventure games like Monkey Island 2 and Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, emphasizing their graphics and immersive experiences. This page features a look at Capcom Quiz, Tonosama no Yabu for the Mega CD. This is a quiz game set in Japan's Sengoku period, where instead of using military might, you conquer provinces by answering questions. The game offers two modes: arcade mode, which mirrors the original arcade experience, and a versus battle mode, perfect for playing against a friend. A major highlight is the inclusion of voice acting for the quiz questions, adding significant charm and changing the feel of the game. Beyond just answering questions, the game incorporates various events and mini-games to keep things interesting. The Mega CD version specifically includes original events like Yabusame, horseback archery, target practice, a guessing game involving pots, fortune-telling, and a shrine visit guessing game. These additions provide fun diversions from the core quiz gameplay and make the Mega CD version particularly engaging. The reviewer seems impressed by the voice acting, the varied events, and the competitive versus mode. This page provides a deep dive into Compile's Mega CD vertical shooter, Robo Aleste, Denjin Aleste in Japan. The game is scheduled for release on November 27th, priced at 6,800 yen, and is nearing completion at 90%. The article highlights several key aspects that set Robo Aleste apart. Firstly, it places a significant emphasis on scenario and storytelling, featuring detailed human relationships surrounding the protagonist and integrating dialogue without interrupting the flow of the shooting action, a rarity for shmups at the time. It also showcases the game's use of the MegaCready's capabilities, specifically mentioning zoom and scaling effects within the vertical scrolling gameplay. The backgrounds are praised for their detail, depicting people living there like farmers, adding to the immersive atmosphere. Finally, the article comments on the game's music, noting the increasing trend of house music in game soundtracks. Robo Aleste incorporates house music, which the reviewer, despite a usual dislike for the genre, found surprisingly fitting and impressive for this shooting game. Screenshots illustrate the game's detailed graphics, character portraits for the scenario sections, and the zoom effect. 122. This page continues the deep dive into Compile's intense vertical shooter, Robo Aleste. For the Mega CD, it details the challenging environments players will face, starting with Stage 1, the Ninja Village, ravaged by the enemy. The main obstacle here is Iron, Kurogane, piloting his flying dragon mecha, designed to mimic Aleste. Next is Stage 2, the Tokaido region, under heavy rain. Following orders, Shadow Wolf,
Kage Ukami, flies in to disrupt the enemy forces. Players must battle through the rain and evade enemies to confront the warrior king, Busho OU, and his fiery attacks to complete the mission. Stage 3 takes the battle to the Echigo region's mountain terrain, specifically over the Japan Alps. Instead of air-to-air combat as might be expected, a heavily armed train speeds along the tracks, launching fierce attacks. There's also a fusion panel showcasing a large, imposing combined mech, suggesting a powerful boss encounter. The article teases that mid-game stages and beyond are packed with even more surprising mechanics and spectacles, including a massive battleship and a final stage with unprecedented features. A humorous Robo Ninja Theater comic strip features characters from the game in a lighthearted scenario, even acknowledging a 1-week delay in the game's release. This page is dedicated to the Mega CD Adventure Game Time Gal from Wolf Team. It kicks off with an enthusiastic personal account from someone who, after attending a Wolf Team event and meeting the game's heroine, Rika Kirishima, is now a devoted fan of Kriegel games. The main focus is a comprehensive strategy guide aimed at helping players conquer the game and defeat the villain, Lord Luda. It promises to reveal the exact command input sequences and the correct choices for the Santaku, 3-choice, moments that players encounter throughout the game. The guide explicitly warns those who prefer to solve the game on their own not to look at the detailed information provided. A key part of the strategy is presented in a table that lists various stages of the game, categorized by the historical era Reika visits. For each stage, the table provides the required sequence of button presses, left, right, up, down, and actions, pops for shoot, 3 for the correct Santaku choice. It also notes if a stage features a reversal, where the screen orientation is flipped, requiring players to reverse their input commands accordingly. The table includes brief commentary on the events or enemies in each stage. The page features a small screenshot showing a dramatic scene from the game, and mentions that this guide will allow players to see the various endings, reinforcing its completeness. It's clear this is a detailed walkthrough for players struggling to progress through Time Gal's reactive gameplay. The next page dives deeper into the Time Gal strategy guide, providing the crucial correct answers for the game's branching Santaku, 3-choice moments. Screenshots show various scenes where these choices occur, clearly marked with correct answer and the specific action or direction needed, ensuring players can navigate Reika's adventure perfectly. Beyond the walkthrough, there's exciting news for fans. The Time Gal theme song, Crossing the River of Time, is getting a single CD release. It includes the original song and a brand new track. This CD was available through a campaign where players sent in a survey postcard found with the game. The page also features a report from a Wolf Team event held at Korakuen Geopolis. This wasn't just a software announcement. It included a Time Gal game tournament featuring teams from the industry. The magazine's own BeepMD team competed, but unfortunately, they fell to the winning login team. The report highlights the appearance of Time Gal's heroine, Rika Kirishima, noting how she captivated the crowd. Photos show attendees, the venue, and 2 individuals dressed as Time Gal characters, capturing the energy of the event. It sounds like it was a blast, with rides and plenty of fun alongside the gaming action. This page introduces Road Blaster FX, an LD Ishoku, meaning LD transplant or port, game developed by Wolf Team for the Mega CD. This isn't just a simple port, it's a full animation driving action game where you take revenge for your wife. The gameplay involves reacting quickly and accurately to on-screen prompts for steering, turbo, and brake during intense car chases. Your ultimate goal is to defeat the female boss of a biker gang. The article highlights that this game builds upon the know-how Wolf Team gained from previous LD ports like Thunderstorm FX and Time Gal. It boasts full-size animation running at 6 to 8 frames per second, totaling an impressive 15,000 frames for 30 minutes of non-stop animation. The quality is noted as high, shattering the concept of previous racing games. The reviewer comments that while previous car games were just about driving, this one allows for emotional immersion, which is fantastic. The discussion also touches upon the possibility that Road Blaster FX might be Wolf Team's final LD series title, questioning if this is the right move. They express hope for the team to challenge themselves with original content in the future, stating that stopping here would be a loss for the gaming world. Screenshots show intense animated scenes, character reactions, and the cockpit view of the protagonist's car. This page delves deeper into Road Blaster FX, focusing on a detailed look at Stage 1. The article walks through the stage progression, from starting on the coast road to transitioning to a sandy beach, highlighting encounters with aggressive biker gangs that the player must defeat using weapons like the Hyperturbo. It notes the scenery in this stage bears a striking resemblance to National Route 136 in Nishizu. A major focus is placed on the game's sound, announcing that the background music is being handled by the popular Japanese band J-Walk. The article points out that while the graphical quality of LD games is paramount, the music is also crucial, and taking on game BGM is a new challenge for the established band. They express curiosity about how J-Walk will bring the game's intense story to life through their music, especially given that one band member is reportedly a Mega Drive user. A biography and photo of the band are included, showcasing their history. This page dives into the upcoming third installment in the Ernest Evans series for the Mega CD, titled Annette Futatabi, Annette Again, from Wolf Team, scheduled for a January release. The magazine playfully notes, "Honestly, everyone loves Bishoujo games," before highlighting the return of Annette as the protagonist, following the second game, El Viento. The article emphasizes that while the visual scenes are good, the core gameplay itself is even better. It describes the game evolving into a Final Fight-style action game, boasting an impressive 144 animation patterns for Annette, promising incredibly smooth movement. It also notes that the full-screen magic effects return from the previous game, and enemy characters have varied action algorithms with over 10 types. Screenshots showcase the side-scrolling action in diverse environments like ancient ruins and what appears to be a prison, featuring combat against various foes, including a large robot. The reviewer is clearly impressed with the action and animation quality, stating that this is a significant second-generation Mega CD title that cannot be dismissed as just a visual game. This page provides a character spotlight for the upcoming Mega CD title, Annette Futatabi, featuring the main cast. It starts with Annette Meyer, the game's protagonist, who returns after her role in El Viento. Following the events of the Hasterseal incident, she lost her home and was brought to the US by Ernest Evans. She's officially a sealless citizen, described as lovely like a French doll, possessing graceful and powerful attacks, and wielding magic through her Haster Witch lineage. Next is Ernest Evans, the American adventurer and director of the Ernest Memorial Museum, known for his unrestrained nature and unparalleled skill with weapons. Finally, Aisha Palm Langulant is introduced as the queen of the small European country. Palm equals Langulant. Due to a unique tradition favoring the first child for succession, she gets caught up in a political coup. The page also includes a small comic strip seemingly poking fun at Annette taking the action lead, and a section highlighting that despite the action focus, the visual scenes, depicted with a large artwork and several smaller screens, remain an important part of the experience. The reviewer's sentiment suggests appreciation for both the action gameplay and the visual presentation. This page previews Psychic Detective Series Volume 3, Aya for the Mega CD, a mystery adventure game from Data West releasing on January 3rd. The story picks up as protagonist Kazuya Fuyuki returns home after completing a case, only to find his lover, Rieka Morisaki, is missing. Consumed by anxiety, Fuyuki begins searching for Rieka, following her trail across town based on limited clues, including a puzzling message left on an answering machine by a woman named Akane Kurahashi. The game utilizes an interface allowing players to examine clues, ponder theories, and take actions in their investigation. Screenshots show various locations like Rieka's apartment, a park, and other key areas. The character introductions highlight Fuyuki as the analyst protagonist, Rieka as his missing lover, Goro Kiryu as another analyst involved in the mystery, and Ichi Kamiya, the old man central to Fuyuki's previous case. Fuyuki's search for Rieka leads him into a deepening conspiracy, building on the shocking events of the previous volume. This page reveals the rapid developments in Psychic Detective Series Volume 3, Aya. The investigation into Rieka Morisaki and her friend Akane Kurahashi takes a dark turn. Kazuya Fuyuki learns more about Rieka's past and her potential connection to the shady Kiryu. The story escalates with a focus on a Daskane, who is tragically involved in what appears to be a fatal traffic accident. Fuyuki's search leads him to discover evidence of drug trafficking, including heroin found in Rieka's room, casting suspicion upon her. The narrative is clearly deepening, pulling Fuyuki into a complex web of secrets and danger, touching upon his own past trauma involving his former lover, Aya Shinyoji, after whom this volume is named. The page also introduces other key characters central to the mystery, including Rieka's mansion manager, Akane's roommate Saki Miyotomo, the elderly Kamiya's butler, and MHW investigator Tomokazu Akinaka, who is looking into illegal drug use. Screenshots show various locations and dramatic character moments as the truth looms closer, though the page hints at even darker forces at play. This page highlights Tenbu Mega CD Special, a historical simulation game from Wolf Team. Described as far more than just a port, the game features a unique real-time system unlike previous historical simulations. It utilizes a multi-window interface called MVIWS, showcased in a screenshot displaying various game information and the map. A major selling point is the inclusion of live-action video footage, sourced from the 1985 Chinese drama Sangokushi, Zhuge Liang. Several images show scenes from this footage, including figures in traditional attire and battlefield visuals. The article emphasizes the authenticity and impressive scope of the simulation, enhanced by these multimedia elements which were advanced for the Mega CD era. Furthermore, the sound design is highlighted, with the opening theme composed by the renowned Yukihiro Takahashi and an impressive 135 original songs featured throughout the game, adding to its immersive quality. Photos show the musicians behind the score at work. The magazine views this as a highly anticipated title, pushing the boundaries of historical simulations on the console. This page features previews for two exciting Mega CD titles. First up is Riot, an RPG where the protagonist, Thunder, a modified human created by the secret organization Bullseye, seeks revenge after escaping. The game appears to draw inspiration from Kamen Rider and features detailed visual scenes. Gameplay involves card battles for combat and includes improvements to movement over previous titles like RIP. This looks like a compelling story-driven RPG hitting the Mega CD in January. Below that is Cyborg 009, a highly anticipated action game based on the classic manga. The screenshots clearly show it's an action title with detailed character sprites and background visuals. It highlights the use of acceleration for high-speed scrolling, and features characters like 003 and Dr. Gilmore holding 001. Battles involve jumping and using a supergun. This adaptation of the beloved series is scheduled for a March release on the Mega CD and looks promising for fans. Both games are single-player experiences. This page features coverage of the Mega CD title Yumimi Mix. It appears as part of the Mega CD press section. The game is listed as an adventure scheduled for a December release, priced at 7,800 yen for one player, and shows a 90% completion status. The page includes a prominent illustration of the main character, Yumimi, holding a cat. The content discusses the game's development, following up on previous coverage. There's an interview with the original creator, Izumi Takemoto, where they discuss the characters and the production process, including the significant number of cuts or scenes involved in the game. There is also a focus on the game's opening sequence, featuring lyrics and several small illustrations depicting scenes from the intro. These illustrations seem to highlight different emotional moments and character interactions from the game's opening animation. The interview provides insight into the creative process behind this unique adventure title. This page continues the dive into the Mega CD adventure title, Yumi Mix, featuring an interview with manga artist Izumi Takemoto, the game's creator. Takemoto-sensei discusses the storyboard process, noting the unique branching structure required for a game compared to standard anime production. They mention being surprised by how much animation was ultimately included and comment on the dynamic layouts. The interview also touches on the origin of the title, which involves characters' personalities mixing, and the preference for a setting that isn't strictly Japan to allow for more creative freedom. There's also discussion about the quirky character names and dialogue. Below the interview, a series of small framed illustrations showcase moments from the game's opening sequence, with captions providing hints about the scenes. The page includes a small profile of Izumi Takemoto, highlighting her work as a manga artist and her personal interests, noting her penchant for sweets and coffee. A charming illustration of a character in a blue and gold outfit is also featured. The interview provides valuable insight into the creative vision and development challenges behind this distinctive adventure game. Programmer Hiroaki Okabe discusses Yumi Mix development. He explains the deliberate focus on a less active male cast to support the plot. The game's design encourages players to guide the heroine through divine-like choices, fostering player empathy. The team aimed to remove tedious elements from adventure games. Takemoto encourages players to relax, anticipating around 45 playthroughs to achieve all endings. Mega CD Headline News announces a Mega CD first anniversary bundle, including Sega Classic Arcade Collection. Final Fight CD is confirmed to feature 2-player support, with a February release. Robo Alesti is nearing release, with a sequel already planned. Ninja Warriors and Night Striker are in development and may be shown at a Sega event. Sister Sonic from Sega/Falcom may release screenshots soon. This page features a deep dive into Sid Meier's Civilization, presented as part of the TerraDrive PC collection. It's described not just as a strategy game but a unique simulation focusing on the rise and fall of civilizations, emphasizing the development of culture, invention, pioneering, and warfare. Players begin as nomads, establish their first city, and guide their civilization's growth, with the ultimate goal being its successful development or even sending a ship to Alpha Centauri. The game highlights the importance of population size, cultural level, and technological discovery. Interactions with other civilizations through war, trade, and diplomacy, along with tackling issues like pollution, are key elements. The article includes screenshots illustrating the development process, showing a city evolving, technology being discovered, like writing and gravity, and contact with other nations. A short narrated history of a custom Taturi civilization, based on Babylon, is included, recounting events like meeting Stalin and facing Napoleon's French forces, showcasing the game's historical scope and dynamic interactions. The article concludes by recommending the game to those who love new experiences, noting its intricate blend of elements. This page features a deep dive into the upcoming release of Langrisser 2 on the Mega Drive, framed as a release promotion project aimed at fans nationwide. The article includes a discussion between Toshiro Tsuchida from NCS, the game's producer, and an interviewer from BeepMD. They talk about the unique relationship with Mega Drive users, describing them as serious about their games and providing valuable feedback. Tsuchida explains his role as a producer, highlighting the pressure to create profitable games while also delivering quality titles that fans will appreciate. The conversation touches on the importance of conveying enthusiasm for the game, not just to players, but also to retailers and distributors. A key point is the need to be persistent and passionate when promoting a game, even when facing challenges in the distribution chain. Visually, the page includes a battle screenshot from Langrisser 2, showcasing the tactical combat system that is a hallmark of the series, complete with unit information and terrain effects. There is also a photo of producer Toshiro Tsuchida. Overall, it's a look behind the scenes at the effort and passion required to bring a strategic RPG like Langrisser 2 to market and connect with its dedicated fanbase. This page features a lineup of new games from Messiah, starting with Langrisser, known internationally as Warsong, for the Mega Drive, a tactical RPG known for its visual scenes. Below that is Vixen 357, another simulation game with a focus on story and character dialogue, also for the Mega Drive. On the right is Heavy Nova for the Super Famicom, described as a robot action game with realistic character movement. The main section continues the discussion from the previous page, titled, "We Don't Want to Make Compromises." Tsuchida discusses the challenges of developing Warsong 2, given the Mega Drive market conditions, but emphasizes the staff's determination to create a quality product. He stresses that if they can't make the game they envision, they won't make it at all. Takeda brings up user feedback, suggesting that strong user demand could potentially influence the development and release speed. They discuss the importance of listening to users, especially the dedicated Mega Drive fanbase, who are described as very serious about their games. The page includes a call to action for users who want to play Warsong 2 quickly to send passionate messages to the magazine's editorial department, who will forward them to Messiah. This highlights the unique relationship and direct communication channel encouraged between developers, magazine, and players. There are photos of the interviewer, Takeda, and a meeting room. This page shifts focus to the Game Gear, presenting a new software review section. The headline announces a lineup of big titles for the issue, specifically mentioning Game Gear versions of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, and Shining Force Gaiden. The main feature is a review of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Game Gear. Released by Sega on November 21st for 3,800 yen, this action game is for one player. The review highlights the game's original story, where Sonic must rescue Tails from Dr. Eggman. While noting that you can't control Tails, the reviewer finds the new vehicle mechanics, like the minecart, trolley, and hang glider, which are unique to this version, quite enjoyable and forgiving. The review praises the enhanced feeling of speed and the very fast screen scrolling, though it points out this makes navigating difficult without prior knowledge of the level layouts due to the smaller screen size. The visual style is described as simple but clear, aiding visibility. Despite the high difficulty level,
The lack of a continue function is seen as a drawback.
The game is evaluated positively for its operability, visuals, game balance, and longevity. This page features reviews for 2 more anticipated Game Gear titles.
First up is Streets of Rage, originally Bare Knuckle.
Released on November 27th, this action game brings the Genesis beat-em-up experience to the handheld, notably including 2-player co-op via link cable. While some moves in the special attack are removed compared to the Genesis version, and Atom isn't playable, the port is considered decent given the hardware, and the music is well reproduced. The reviewer notes the instant throw animation when grabbing is a bit awkward. Overall, it's a solid action game with good visuals and recommendation score, though operability gets a middling mark. The second review covers the GG Shinobi 2, The Silent Fury, the sequel released on December 4th.
This action title is for 1 player.
It maintains a similar system to the first game, starting as Joe Musashi and rescuing other ninjas from selectable stages, each with unique attack styles. A new goal is collecting crystals, sometimes requiring specific characters and potentially replaying stages, adding an interesting layer to the game balance. While the difficulty might be slightly lower than the predecessor, the ability to revisit stages and a password feature are welcome additions. The reviewer rates its operability lower, but gives decent marks for AV, game balance, and longevity, with a moderate recommendation. This page features a look at the upcoming Game Gear title, Shining Force Gaiden, Ensei Jashin no Kuni Hi, an RPG due for release on December 18th. Development is nearing completion, with map design and game balance being finalized. The article highlights the friendly design tailored for the Game Gear, showcasing the status screen with character stats like nicks, and the ability to check enemy information. It praises the battle scene animations, noting they hold their own against the Genesis version, and confirms the inclusion of new magic spells, some revived from the original Shining Force. Battles are said to be flashy, with faster enemy thinking time. A unique feature for the Game Gear version is the camp mode. Due to memory constraints, traditional town scenes are cut. This mode, automatically accessed after battles, consolidates town functions, allowing players to manage inventory, save the game, heal, revive characters, and handle character management such as changing party members or classes. The G.G version includes a total of 20 characters. Screenshots display the character status, battle sequences with magic effects, and a grid of character portraits used within the camp mode. Overall, the preview is very positive, particularly regarding the game's visuals and enhanced battle system for the handheld. This page features the Difficult Games International Rescue Mission, a regular feature helping players overcome tough challenges in their games. This installment covers 3 titles, providing solutions to common roadblocks. First up is World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, listed here as I Love Donald Duck, where a player is struggling with the final boss's attacks. The magazine advises using a specific platforming and attack strategy involving Donald's plunger to avoid falling rocks and swords. Next, Sonic the Hedgehog players get help finding the Zone 2 Chaos Emerald. The solution confirms the emerald is real, and details a method requiring specific jumps and using a spring after destroying parts of a bridge. Screenshots illustrate the location and the necessary spring. Finally, Rise of the Dragon is featured, with a player stuck on a wiring puzzle. The guide explains that, while the red and blue wires are straightforward, the tricky yellow ground wire requires careful attention. A screenshot is provided to show the correct connection, and a warning is given about the risks of incorrect wiring or taking too long. Both can lead to a game over. The section concludes by inviting players to send in their own gaming distress calls for MD and Game Gear titles to the magazine's editorial office for future rescue missions. This page delves into the Trick League section, showcasing hidden codes and secrets for several Sega Mega Drive titles. First up is Atomic Runner Chelnov, where a simple trick using the 2 Pi controllers down plus C plus start combination during the title screen allows for stage warping during gameplay by pressing start. However, the final stage cannot be skipped. Next, for Mystic Defender, holding up on the directional pad and pressing start at the title screen grants access to a sound test, a common feature in many Data East titles of the time, letting you listen to the game's music and voice samples. The page then covers Twinkle Tail, revealing a stage select option unlocked by holding left plus A plus C during the opening story demo and pressing start. While this lets players jump ahead, the caveat is that the player's magic level starts at the lowest setting, making later stages quite challenging from the get-go. Finally, Greylancer features a stage select accessible right before a stage begins. Inputting the button sequence B, B, C, A, up, down allows players to choose any of the game's 11 stages using the left and right directional buttons. Note that this command needs to be entered quickly at the stage start screen. The page includes screenshots for each game demonstrating the trick or the screen where it's performed. This page reveals an incredibly long and intricate method for unlocking the true ending in Bahamut Senki. The process starts by selecting the blood-stained Bahamut scenario, with Sieg as the master, and advancing to turn 15, where Raymond volunteers for a crusade against Valmar. After Valmar's defeat, by anyone other than the player, you proceed to turn 40, when Raymond asks to become a hero. A critical step is then sending Raymond into Klimet's territory to fight in a unit where he is guaranteed to die. This leads to Raymond's death and a dying message, which is apparently a key trigger. After surviving until turn 121, the final steps involve defeating all other masters except Pastoral, and then invading Pastoral's territory with only Sieg. The page suggests this precise sequence leads to the hidden ending, illustrating the steps, with screenshots showing key moments and dialogue prompts. It's a complex, multi-step process that requires specific character actions, including a character's death, which is certainly a unique way to unlock an ending. Additionally, the page includes information about the B-Mega Trick League, announcing winners and soliciting submissions for new game tricks with various prize tiers. This page presents a special extra edition of the History of TV Games series, focusing on the arduous journey to open the Asakusa Game Museum. The article, authored by Yoichi Shibuya and supervised by Ryunosuke Urushihara, delves into the concept, motivation, and significant challenges faced in establishing this unique museum dedicated to arcade games. It contrasts early forms of play, like baseball and marbles, with the profound impact of encountering early television games. The text details the struggles involved, including navigating complex legal regulations like the Amusement Business Act, acquiring and restoring old arcade boards and cabinets, and the sheer passion required to overcome these hurdles. Images show the museum's exterior, what appears to be the interior filled with arcade machines, preparations with scattered boards and parts, and a display featuring the iconic Space Invaders. The piece highlights the dedication needed to preserve game history and the state of the arcade culture at the time. The next page continues the detailed account of establishing the Asakusa Game Museum. It recounts the significant practical challenges beyond just the initial concept. Securing a location was difficult, requiring substantial deposits and rent, unlike renting a simple apartment. The process of acquiring game cabinets, including Nintendo vs. Systems and mention of Street Fighter II, proved complex, involving heavy lifting, transportation by trucks, some lacking necessary equipment like auto lifts, and the sheer physical labor of moving and setting them up. A major obstacle was navigating the legal requirements, specifically obtaining the Amusement Business Act, Article 8 permit, which was crucial for operation. The article emphasizes the painstaking effort of cleaning, wiring, and arranging the machines to meet legal and operational standards, including the need to swap game boards regularly. Despite the difficulties and the overwhelming number of games available, the passion for the project drove the team forward. The page visually confirms the success in overcoming the legal hurdle by displaying images of the official Amusement Business Act, Article 8 permits, allowing the museum to open its doors. Photos also show the interior space during preparation, various arcade machines, change machines, and hand-drawn signage reflecting the dedication involved. The Asakusa Game Museum's opening day was a roller coaster. Delayed until evening, initial patrons were unenthusiastic, leading to discouragement for the owner. However, the return of a child and his brother to play retro games spurred optimism. More customers arrived, drawn by a persistent sign. A local offered assistance. The narrative is steeped in the lively atmosphere of Asakusa, depicted as a vibrant street filled with diverse people. Despite the challenges, the weekend drew unexpected crowds, especially on Sunday, making the museum a success. Yet, after expenses, the financial gains were modest, leaving the owner with a small profit and a headache. The accompanying images depict the bustling Asakusa streets. This page outlines the future aspirations of the Asakusa Game Museum, detailing the owner's vision to expand beyond the current 35 Subo space to at least 100 Subo to properly showcase their collection of 800 game boards. The goal is to grow into a legitimate museum that preserves game culture, not just a small arcade, aiming to feature both classic and influential games that are playable. Images show the current, crowded arcade, with players enjoying machines like Speed Race and Hustle, highlighting the limitations of the small space. The page also takes a humorous turn by focusing on the museum's UFO catcher, claw machine, specifically featuring extreme or bizarre plushies. It highlights unusual prizes like plush frogs, a turtle described as fancy, a snake potentially from a comedy duo's character, and a large gorilla named Gorion. The article suggests that the museum offers unique and quirky items alongside its historical game collection, adding to its distinct character. This page dives deeper into the Neo Geo fighting game Art of Fighting, following up on last month's feature. The focus here is squarely on helping players master the game by revealing the input commands for various characters' special moves, which are crucial for winning matches. Profiles and move lists are provided for characters like Ryo Sakazaki, Robert Garcia, Jack Turner, Li Pei Long, King, Mickey Rogers, and John Crawley, although some hidden or advanced moves are intentionally left out as part of an in-game Find the Special Move campaign. The article notes that the powerful How Shokoken move requires players to learn it in the story mode. A small section also briefly reviews the Neo Geo title Riding Hero, a bike racing game. The reviewer notes that while it's recommended for Neo Geo enthusiasts, it lacks a strong sense of speed and features rather repetitive enemy behavior, but highlights the story mode conversations as a key point of interest. This page is all about the Beep Mega Reader giveaway for the December 1992 issue. They're offering some cool prizes, including the big one: your choice of any Sega Mega Drive software released up to the end of November 1992, with 30 winners. If you prefer portable gaming, they're also giving away your choice of Game Gear software to 5 lucky winners. Other prizes include the Image Sound CD for the fantasy RPG King Colossus, an original phone card featuring the heroine Rika from the Mega CD Title Time Gal, a set with a t-shirt and phone card for the Ova Hanape Bazooka, and even autographed boards from Masato Shimon, the singer famous for the Gatchaman theme and songs in games like A Rank Thunder. They're giving away a few of each of these, ranging from 3 to 10 winners. The page also features a spotlight on the imminent release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, calling it potentially the best Mega Drive game of the year. They praise the effort put into it and highlight the massive rumored 4 million pre-orders, noting how it was already out in America. They're excited about the possibility of another Sonic whirlwind dominating Christmas sales and cheer on Sega and third-party developers. Finally, there's a brief mention of a phone line for magazine inquiries and a list of the many staff members who put the magazine together. This page focuses on the Mega CD title Yumimi Mix, an interactive comic adventure game developed by Game Arts. The page features the vibrant, anime-style artwork that defines the game, showcasing the main female characters and inset panels, displaying scenes that appear to be from the game's animation. Described as an interactive comic, Yumimi Mix boasts an impressive volume of animation, with approximately 7,000 frames promised, bringing the manga-like visuals to life. The gameplay centers around making choices that lead to a branching story and multiple endings, a key feature of adventure games on the platform. The production values are highlighted with the mention of Yumiko Takahashi providing the theme song, and a gorgeous voice cast delivering character dialogue, featuring popular voice actors like Akiko Hiramatsu and Toshihiko Seki. This emphasis on voice acting and animation underscores the game's presentation as a dynamic, animated story. Released in 1992, Yumi Mix is presented here as an exclusive title for the Mega CD, showcasing the system's capabilities for animated visual novels. This page features Gyawambura Jiko Chushinya 2, Giki 2, Tokyo Mahjong Land Hen, a Mega CD exclusive Mahjong game. It's the second entry in the series, set within a quirky Mahjong-themed amusement park called Tokyo Mahjong Land. The game boasts a significant roster of 51 characters waiting to challenge you across the park's various attractions. The core gameplay includes a story Mahjong mode where you battle opponents throughout the park, and interestingly, a date Mahjong mode where winning matches is key to advancing your date with a potential romantic interest. Developed by Game Arts and based on the work of manga artist Masayuki Katayama, This title leveraged the Mega Drive's capabilities for extensive character representation and varied gameplay modes, offering a unique take on the classic mahjong game genre within a vibrant, unusual setting. This page promotes Planet Sega World, a special event held in Tokyo on December 6, 1992, celebrating the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The artwork depicts a futuristic Sega-themed city in the sky, featuring Sonic himself alongside images of the virtual racing arcade cabinet. The event promises a free experience of Sega's latest high-tech entertainment, including unreleased Mega Drive and Mega CD software like 3x3 Eyes, plus chances to try games like virtual racing and participate in prize lotteries. It highlights that 10,000 people will be invited for free, giving fans a chance to see the true power of Sega. The page also notes that Yumiko Takahashi will be present,